Hello everyone. Hopefully people start working their way over to this stream. I'll explain what happened in just a second, but we had a little bit of a, not even really a blunder on my end, a little bit of a, partially a blunder on my end, but partially just a complete mishap, which was fantastic. Let me just get my connection all, hold on. Set up. Elon is back talking about nothing. There's some funny tweets I might want to show you guys here in a second. Rippity-roo. Boopity-boo. Boopity-boo. Sorry you guys have to listen to nothing. Alrighty. Hello, chat. Hello. Hello, Parker. Hello, Vulcan. You probably were going to have to DM me. What happened? Yeah, sorry. So what happened was yesterday's stream, if you stream in 4K, you have to have a longer delay for, I guess, YouTube's processing and their servers and stuff like that. And I thought that was annoying, and the stream didn't even look that good in 4K because it was mostly I'm just on a browser. So I decided to go back to 1080p for this stream. So I did that in my streaming software, and then when I went live, I forgot to change it in the YouTube studio setting thing, the dashboard. So I clicked live, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm still in the long delay mode, so I would have had to listen like forever to hear you guys, to see your chats. And then I was like, oh shoot, so I ended the stream, and I thought I could just switch it back. With that, it actually deleted the stream, and then I was like, oh shit, I gotta just real quick put it back. But then, for whatever reason, it like, somehow my stream key got duplicated, and it wasn't letting me set up any streams at all. It just went and completely shut down. It was like, I didn't know what to do. It gave up on life. So then I was like, oh geez, what do I do? So basically I went out, I had to restart my computer, and then, long story short, well, that's kind of the whole story. That is the long story. But we're here. We made it. A little bit of an issue, but we're back. I actually, SpaceX went live early, so I was like, oh god, I gotta get this stream up and early. And now I ended up being late. So anyway, hello Astrath, hello everyone. Hopefully you're all working your way. Everyone is working their way back to the light, back to the greatest stream of all time. Hopefully. You know, it's sad. I hit 22,000 subscribers the other day, and today I'm down to 21,996. So a few people unsubscribed. Either that or there was like a bot purge or something, and at least I didn't lose a quarter or half of my subscribers like some Twitch streamers.
Without any talent in it, and then you can just come here and visit. It's very easy. Yeah, I think it's a really special place. Yesterday, this ship went down the road behind it.
I wonder if that guy who's talking now is going to acknowledge how he said you could see SN15 in the Rocket Garden, even though it's been gone for like probably over a year now at this point. I want to listen to Mixer X again. We want to hear from the crowds at Hawthorne. Elon, you have time? Let's see if they're next time. Oof. Elon repeating probably. Yeah, it's funny. I gotta find some tweets. I liked them, so I should be able to pull them up. There's some pretty funny tweets about Elon. Jack Beyer had a couple funny ones. Let's see if I can find them real quick here. I guess we can listen to Elon while I look around.
Stop coming for any reason, and that reason could be something cataclysmic, or it could be that that civilization simply subsided. There's always this debate throughout history of will civilization end with a bang or a whimper, but either way,
average Elon statement. The Nothing Burger. It's the Nothing Burger. It is the Nothing Burger. This one's also pretty funny. Anyway. I'm sure I'm too hyped. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking. So yeah, if you're in Europe, it's definitely rough. But what I was thinking though, what is such a great feeling is when you wake up at like launch day mornings are really a great feeling because like, oh boy, today you wake up and what's going on today? It's like, oh, it's cloudy outside, it's rainy, the IRS is repossessing my house, but hey, at least it's launch day. Don't worry, the IRS is not actually. I don't even make enough money for them to care about me. But it's like, oh hey, Starship launch day today. How exciting! It's a great feeling to have. It gives you some optimism for the day. But normally that feeling only lasts one day because it launches. But instead, we got it 3 days in a row. So like, wow. Nothing ever new about the Starship program. Well, he said that yesterday, or even this morning, he randomly tweeted Elon that, oh, we're going to do the longer stretched 40 engine version in 2027. It's like, hey, you could say that on the stream maybe. I'm writing some essay about video game glitches from home, but I woke up like 20 minutes ago and there's a Starship launch, so I might get beaten to death. Yeah. The video game glitches, it's cosmic rays, that's what it is. It's cosmic rays. Beaming into the computers, causing speedrunners in Mario 64 to teleport. Morning or nighttime launch? 6:30? You do tax evasion? Yeah. Pro tax evasion. There's a lot of people who seem to be pretty good at the old tax evasion.
I think you can see there, and with the factory shots.
Also, why did SpaceX go early? They went early. They went live like 15 minutes early. So maybe Elon had some talking he wanted to do. You just lie on your tax returns. Yeah, you just lie. I made $5 this year. $5. I owe you guys. You guys owe me $10,000 in refunds. Every space game I own. Yeah, it's fun. Too bad there's no catch.
Black and half of it is silver colored, and that's because the bottom half of the ship, the bottom as seen from...
I know what a heat shield is, Elon! You don't need to yap about heat shields. I need to just, every time Elon speaks, I should just have the... Let me find it again. I should just have this permanently over his face. Let me find the tweet again, the nothing burger. Oopsies. What do I need the tweet for? I can just search up nothing burger. I'll put this over Elon's face whenever we get the picture. Here. No, yes, of course I want to open it in photos. What is wrong with you? Stupid thing. Here, we'll just put this over his face whenever he talks.
It's massive. It obviously takes...
we have to wait for him to show his face again.
That thing move. And that's where Raptor
was doing tax evasion while being
engine on the planet.
While being on my mother waiting to be bored, but it's not a competition.
No, that's a lifesaver and a half.
Better go. I hope so.
You would get vaporized in an instant if you were standing.
This is because there's black stuff there. So, exactly. Yeah, there's black stuff there. Because there is.
So.
I don't have money in my bank account. Yeah, me neither, Vulcan.
In order to create
a
fully reusable orbital rocket. You have
LeBron James is called LeBron James because he's called LeBron James.
The engines have to be better
LeBron James.
Ever. The structure's got to be better than any structure ever.
Which it isn't.
You've got to...
oh, by the way, guys, I know there's only like 15 people watching.
Bringing the rocket back to
so it's not like I can really move the market with this, but
that no one has ever made a fully reusable orbital heat shield. The space shuttle, for example, requires...
I would, but anyway, I would very much like to recommend
between flights. So the space shuttle heat shield would come back essentially broken and would require many months of I
would like to recommend this absolutely fantastic video by CSI Starbase. which is about the history and construction of Massey's. There is some really good information in that video. So much stuff I didn't know, but just like shocking design decisions and engineering mistakes that these people have made. Like, did you know that they basically ruined all the engines on Booster 4 because they were cryoproofing it with the engines on, which no other booster has done, but it was also the first time the orbital tank farm had ever been used on a vehicle, and there was all sorts of dust in the tanks because it had never been used before, so all that dust just coated the engines and basically ruined all the engines on B4. Not only that, but there were like structural like critical design flaws in the structure of the bottom, like the thrust puck of Booster 4 that they didn't even realize was a problem because they never conducted the test, like the little can crusher test hardware thing, because they couldn't fit it in the schedule. So they literally put the engines on, basically tried a static fire B4, and then they realized, oh shoot, the structure freaking sucks because we never tested it, and then that basically that ruined B4 and B5. So recommend that video.
Landing with legs. But
it's Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday.
That with the booster and ship.
Playing background, yeah, good background videos. Go to video, love how much. Yeah, it is, and there's so much stuff I didn't know. I don't know how he knows some of this. I'm sure it's like inside sources and stuff.
Which is
why a bee landing a camera could destroy the solar system. I've just watched a Dutch guy disassemble a boat engine for 35 minutes after watching the same guy disassemble a Soviet service action group for 2 hours. Yeah. It's like that meme. What flavor of autism do you have? Hi, Walter White.
That's why we catch the rocket with the tower arms, because it's
Walter White. Hello, Walter White.
Are used to catch the rocket.
Dutch are good at boats. Well, they need to be, because the country is underwater. Their whole country is like a submarine, basically. Or, well, it's above. So it's like the whole country's a boat.
5 or 6 minutes
your time is immeasurable, yeah.
Or not coming back.
Perfect. You did, yeah?
So
that's cool. Speaking of songs, I randomly got... I got not copyrighted. I got like so there's different ways copyright works in YouTube. They've been getting better at this. So it's either like if you have the video. Oh, sorry. Shoot, they're showing Elon. Sorry, guys. I have to put the nothing burger over Elon. This is kind of covering his whole face, but nothing burger. But anyway, so YouTube does copyright in a few different ways, so it's dependent on the artist. So they if you put it in, they either block your video. Well, actually, they can either copyright strike you, take your video down, just take all the ad revenue, or there's like this kind of new thing where they do ad sharing. So if you put like normally what happens if you put like a copyrighted song in your video, it just removes monetization eligibility. I've occasionally had videos get taken down, not very often though. And then the artist the copyright holder just takes all the revenue. But what they can do is there's a revenue sharing thing now where some songs you can put in, but you still get to keep some of the monetization. Anyway, the point of that long ramble is I randomly got that copyright revenue sharing thing applied to my last stream on Flight 10, and I was like, what? I didn't put any music on, so apparently some of the SpaceX music has been copyrighted, which is okay. That actually could be a problem for some of the bigger streamers. For like Everyday Astronaut and I just said Everyday Astronaut twice. For Everyday Astronaut and NSF, if they're like putting the SpaceX stream on their streams, they might get copyrighted. And since they have like thousands and thousands of viewers, they could very well run afoul of some of their revenue. Elon and the burger, right? Yeah. Crickets, yeah. The Star-based restaurant started using a different brand of spice for their food. This is a direct correlation of increased... yeah. Put a Whataburger there. You know what? I've never even had a Whataburger. I should really have one. I'm quite a big fan of In-N-Out. I hear Whataburger is very good as well, but I'm not down south Whataburger is more of a south thing. In-N-Out's more of a west coast thing, but similar. Well, not really similar. They're different. But yeah, last time I was in Texas, I went with In-N-Out instead of a Whataburger. Look at that. Yeah, I never really paid attention to the ship catch because I was probably ranting and raving about some other random thing while it was going on. But apparently, like, maybe if they show it again, apparently there's, like, no ship QD and, like, the chopsticks are floating or something. Yeah, floating chopsticks. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yep, you're ahead of me on the head of me. Yeah.
Successful test. We actually landed.
Speaking of, if I could just very quickly, because we're talking about fast food, friggin' In-N-Out. I had In-N-Out a couple, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it'd been about a year since I'd had In-N-Out. It was actually a little bit disappointing. The burger did not quite. So the thing about In-N-Out is their fries are horrible cardboard. So the only reason In-N-Out is any good is because their burger really, really is quite good. But the burger is usually like an 8 or 9 out of 10, and it was just a touch below. It was like 1 or 2 numbers below its usual average. It's like, In-N-Out doesn't deserve all the hype if they can't deliver on the burger. They also have really fast service, which is pretty good. Best part is the floating part. Yeah, nothing hinges. They got rid of the hinges, and now it's held up by the power of the Force. They have Yoda standing under it, going like that. Catch the rocket, I will. Elon's probably making a comment about how wrong this looks.
We're running on fumes. Then we send other ships to dock, transfer propellant, and now we made our 2-stage rocket look like a many multi-stage rocket. And we get all of that performance. And we can take that full cargo bay now wherever we want to go.
Yeah, so a crucial technology that we...
Nah, he's not going to say it. He may have already said it.
Next year is this orbital refueling, much like aerial refueling. It's essential for...
Held up by hopes and dreams, right?
Being able to send significant payload to Mars.
Yep.
So you essentially send a ship to orbit.
So NSFW, he says it every single time.
Payload.
He says it every single time, but he also has the humor of a 5-year-old, so...
To orbit, the tanks will be mostly empty. And then
It's
you
like the whole...
additional tanker ships to refill the Mars ship's tank so that it can thrust from Earth orbit to Mars.
Everything is 420 with that guy.
For landing. So
420 and 69.
Refilling is also not something that's ever been demonstrated before.
Rainbow
so that would be a
ships.
brand new technology. We obviously have at SpaceX figured out how to dock repeatedly with the space station. So in a lot of ways,
Docking
this
is important.
like docking.
Not to brag, but I figured out docking in like a few hours on
it's
KSP,
easier.
so I'm better than
The
SpaceX,
ship-
obviously.
SpaceX is docking with its own craft, but no one has ever demonstrated propellant transfer.
I could dock before they could.
in orbit.
Only the things I were docking were little
It's supposed to
green
be
plant
propellant
aliens.
transfer at a very large scale, and but with full reusability,
Redditor humor, yeah.
transfer. Those are the key technologies.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it is. The Starship. Oopsies. The Starship does kind of come back looking a little prideful, I guess you could say.
Will achieve these goals, and we will be landing ships on Mars in the future.
I hope so, Elon.
Life on Mars, building greenhouses and life on Mars. And
I'm sure that an X-wing is lighter than an F-15 and a metric ton lighter than an
It's
F-6.
important to note here that
How does one figure out what an X-wing
here
weighs?
on Earth that the other creatures cannot build spacecraft and get to other.
Yeah, no, Elon. I need to show his face again so I can put the. I'll just leave this permanently over. Whenever. I'll just leave this permanently. Nothing burger. We'll just leave that. Google. Well, like how? I guess if you go on Wikipedia. But I don't know. I don't. If I now I can rant about fast food, now I can rant about like lore and stuff. So I don't know. I don't generally when it's like with like lore stuff like that. Generally, I don't know. I think like when you look at Star Wars, which has all sorts of books and articles and comics and video games and I don't know. In my opinion, for something with Star Wars, if I said Starship, Star Wars. Like I think the movies, the 6 movies are Star Wars. I really don't think anything else is
Being able to move people around
canon, in my opinion.
Make it feel smaller and more accessible.
Those burger patties on screen, yeah, because this guy it's the nothing burger. Elon is talking about nothing right now.
Being this thing that can connect us, just like Starlink.
We have
This can connect us more physically.
nothing burgers.
Yeah. So there's really nothing faster.
Honestly, with X-Wing, I bet what you could do is if you want to do the fans, what we could do is you could take the X-Wing model, run it through CFD software, and run it through aerodynamic analysis, and then you could find. No, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say you could find the speed that they're flying at in the movie. If you see an X-Wing flying through the atmosphere, and then you could calculate based on that what aerodynamics, what speed it would have to be at, and then you could probably reverse engineer the mass. But the problem is, usually when it's in the atmosphere, the things are freaking hovering, which is not exactly valuable data. Oh, he's big screen. Big screen Elon. This is my chance. Nothing more.
All right, cool. Anything else, guys?
No.
I mean, we could say a lot more.
Yeah.
Maybe we should
Wikipedia, what logic they adhere to when considering some Starship launches success or fail? I don't know what Wikipedia's criteria for. I think technically, I know they say. Oh, she's back. I know they say that like, it's data's the payload, this is a test flight, but I think just strictly speaking, a mission is a success. Well, I guess the line of partial success is kind of blurry, but it's a success if it's a full success, like with the little green, if they complete all of the objectives. So, or I guess maybe the primary objective. So for the Starship program, that would mean basically flight 5 and 6 are probably the only successes because a ship, 4 kind of because a ship survived, but in the wrong spot. So 4 would be a partial success. 6 you could also maybe call a partial success because the booster abort the landing abort, but that's just a secondary objective. But flight 7, if you don't even get to orbit, I think the criteria for a partial success is making it to Seco. So that means 7, 8, 9 9 made it to Seco, so 9 you could call a partial success. Kind of. That's probably how I would look at it. 9 also had the booster failure, but so 1 would be a failure, 2 would be a failure, 3 would be a partial success, 4 arguably partial success, 5 is full success, 6 is a full success, 7 failure, 8 failure, 9 partial success is what I would say. Do they control C control V the whole Elon Yap section? Probably. I mean, they could probably they probably could have copied it from some talk 5, 6, 7 years. Like, I'm wearing a Michigan shirt. It's pretty cool. They could have just copied and pasted from 5 because it hasn't changed. But technically, after 3 and after 9 had the same primary objective. Both had investigations called, but I don't know what they. Yeah, maybe a mishap report. If there's a mishap report, maybe that would be the criteria for calling it a failure. Flight was best catch is cool, yes, but they demonstrated a safe, unplanned offshore divert. Also, the ship tests are cool. Yeah. Okay, so apparently Star Wars canon is messed up as ever. Latest data I could find is 10 metric tons of the heaviest dirt. Yeah, that's the problem when you have 2,000 authors working on. I don't know. Canon, in my opinion, for Star Wars is 6 movies, not any of the Disney garbage. And I don't really care. Okay, canon is whatever you want it to be, in my opinion. I'm not really into the whole strictly. I used to be, but I realize how silly it is. Who cares what strictly speaking canon was? But I don't know. George Lucas invented the X-wing. If some random person can't really say what an X-wing is. PCB manufacturing. Yeah, they're showing this. This is the promo Starlink video, probably. Anyway, there's one other thing I want. Flight 6. Yeah, Flight 6 was pretty awesome. The everything from Flight 6 was awesome. Flight 5 as well. Flight 5 and Flight 6 are pretty similar from the ship perspective. Only you couldn't see it for Flight 5 because it was so dark. But Flight 6 ship did a little bit better because there was way less burn through. I bet they actually could have made Block 1 work. Because you look at Flight 4, with the little flap that could. Still one of the craziest things I've ever seen in spaceflight, honestly, was that ship surviving. Flight 5, there was still burn through, but less. And on Flight 6, there was actually barely any burn through. That's a new optical laser system. It very well could be. I'm not paying attention.
At SpaceX, we iterate very fast.
Yeah, we watched this yesterday. I'm trying to set up PCB manufacturing, something at my house. That I would be very impressed if you could set up PCB manufacturing in your house. There's a funny YouTube video is like how to make a computer from a rock, and this guy basically shows the whole process of making taking a silicon and turning it into a CPU. That doesn't sound funny from the way I've described the video, but it is funny. What's crazy? I have T1 Kerbal Spin or Flight 4 Flight 4 re-entry was way crazier. IFT1 was fairly exciting. There wasn't even the thing kind of only disintegrated the vehicle. The spin was nuts, but there wasn't like a cool explosion. That guy's looking into the camera. Looking into the camera. That is an onboard view that I don't think is public. So, thank you for showing that. Public now. Flight 4 was absolutely bananas, though. Half the flap was gone, and the thing worked. That's crazy. Very hard, very, like, yeah, it is like magic. It's witchcraft. You go back to the 1500s and you try and show someone how to make a rock think, and they'll burn you at the stake. And you see out of silicon in the garage. Well, people can do weird things. Space engineers can launch and land rockets, have weekly flights, and make the most advanced rockets alongside rocket. We can't open a door. Yeah, that is definitely one of the recurring problems, is this freaking Pez dispenser door. Third time they've tried to open it. Will it work? Maybe. Who knows? Although, you can make the excuse, like, in Flight 9, because technically the problem was with the pressure buildup in the nose cone payload bay section. So, that's not really the fault of the door mechanism. So you could maybe give them a pass on that. Yes, they got a Temu door is what they did. A Temu space door. That is what happened. I understand maybe for Flight 3 they didn't really care that much. Whatever, we'll see if it works. And then the Flight 9 one, probably they cared a little bit more, but yeah, you could arguably say. What the inside of the Starship smells like? Probably like the Gulf of Mexico, if I had to take a guess. And if you ever been down to that area, it has a very distinctive smell. And I bet that smell is very permeable. It gets into most things. So, it's that kind of soggy, damp, moist bird poo kind of smell that you get when you go disputed name body of water thing. I just wanted to make solder mask application straightforward, and from that make silk screen layer because that takes too long. Man, you're losing me here. Probably fuel or nothing. Yeah, and I hope you're not sniffing around in the Starship payload bay when it's fueled up. That sounds a little dangerous. Something Russian. Okay. Zopskroskya. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce any of those letters. Z is like B or something, isn't it, in Russian? So it's like Broskolskya or something.
Systems. So we are looking pretty good for launch. We did all of our normal pre-flight checkouts with all the different vehicle.
How's the weather? Oh, weather go! Happy
moment,
days.
We're almost done.
I think we're going to see a launch today, folks. I think we're going to see ourselves kaboom.
Yep, looking closely, it looks like we're nearly closed out on ship, like Dan said, about 70% of the way through on both methane and locks on the
Let's see if we can get a sync here. 10:28. I'm about 13 seconds behind. Let's see if I can reset that and get a better delay here. See, can I get a better stream delay?
Right at the top of
I'm at about 5 seconds. 5 seconds. All right, 5 seconds is pretty good.
All right, now let's quickly talk about Mars, since everything we do is
Hello,
part of
Bobby.
our foundational mission to get to the
You
right
made it.
spot. Each Starship launch is to learn more and more about what's needed to make life multiplanetary and to improve.
Fix my seat schedule. Yes, you can, Vulcan.
People to Mars.
Yeah, we've shared the plan.
Hello,
previously the last couple of months.
Iron
We're looking to
Iron Queen. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right.
to Mars.
There's been a lot of discussion.
Not with
Did I
people.
tell you I broke
We're
my
just
ankle?
looking
You did
at
not.
minimally viable landers, so let's just prove that we can get.
You don't probably want to be doing that.
We're just going to focus on learning as much as possible, but looking at all of those different
Gosh!
you know, prop load, prop transfer on orbit, sending stuff out to Mars, doing the transfer.
No legs. Yeah, I've seen a lot of discussion about this picture. People are being like, there actually looks like there's tiny little stubby things. So there's legs in this picture. People are like, people are saying like, oh my god, oh, flaps moving. Oh my god, there's no legs. I would be highly shocked if they don't have legs for a Mars landing. That's probably just a quirk of the render. AI generated. Yeah, they probably just use Grok.
Back to Mars, though.
At Grok.
Wrap up by about 2030, 2031.
Why you guys keep breaking your ankles? Just cut your legs off, then problem solved. Be like Lieutenant Dan, get fake legs.
Start to mine
Lieutenant
resources,
Dan.
some propellant generation plants, build up some fuel.
And they gain the animated renders and Starship legs. Yeah,
by the time we get all the way to 2033.
they apparently didn't inform the animators that there's hinges on the chopsticks either.
Sustaining presence on the red planet.
That was apparently
Lots of
news.
exciting missions ahead of us, and these
Alright,
are
we're within 10
crucial
minutes.
to setting up what we'll need for humans to eventually inhabit the planet, and we won't be doing this alone. The Italian Space Agency and SpaceX recently signed a first-of-its-kind agreement to carry
Well, I
Italian
got slammed
experiments
into by a
on
large
the
man while
Starship
playing
mission to deliver
softball.
customer payloads to Mars. So these
You
payloads
don't want to be doing that.
growth experiment, a weather monitoring station, and also a radiation sensor to gather scientific.
Yeah, ankles are a bad one. Rolling your ankle, I know that's different than breaking it, but rolling your ankle is probably one of the most painful things a person can experience. And I imagine breaking your ankle is similar, if not worse, type of pain.
A lot more though. So while we're just
I'm gonna tip
under
you out to
8
cover the
minutes away
ankle.
from launch today, let's head back over to Tyler and Hawthorne, talk a little bit.
I'm not
about
jealous.
Be increasing the number of Starship launches going forward.
Maybe you see it then,
Thank you, Dan
Mott.
and Amanda. So to put it plainly, in order to launch more starships, we need to build more
Does she
launch
have a
pads.
weird thing with her
That's
eyes?
exactly what we're doing
Is that just
at
a
Complex 37.
is that just a thing of the camera, or is her
Pad 37 has a storied history. Most
that
recently,
eye all
for
weird looking?
the missions for the US government.
I think that might just be the light in her eye. I thought she had that condition where people have like that one guy on CSPN,
We are honored to have the
CSPN,
opportunity to continue missions like
CNBC.
But first, we need to optimize the team. So earlier this year, we started dismantling some of the existing infrastructure to prep the site
This
for
guy.
Starship operations. This will include up to 76 launches a year, with up to 152 landings.
This guy, he has weird thing in his eye.
And
thought
to
she
support
had-
this flight rate, we plan on building 2 launch
Anyway,
pads.
I only talk about the
Each
most
will have
important
one
things.
tower that can support launch
I
and landing,
slid off a
plus
huge
deflector
snowfield
systems,
out in the
launch
mountains
mounts,
and fell
and
10
water
feet
damage
into a
systems.
boulder field
This will also include
and
a
spent the
propellant
next
farm
2
that will
days
produce
crawling.
on
Oh,
site and serve both launch pads. So there is a lot of work in progress.
I feel like there's some
Pad
memes
37
I
is
could
only one part of our plan for Starship
share that would
operations.
be relevant to that.
A few miles away from Pad 37 at Kennedy Space Center,
Maybe I'll have to
our
look 'em up.
380-foot-tall vertical integration facility called Gigabay is under construction. Once complete next year, Gigabay will be capable
See if I can
of
just-
housing multiple starships simultaneously for rapid assembly and integration. And meanwhile, at Launch Complex 39A, we're building Starship's infrastructure to support up to 44 launches and up to 88 landings a year, independent of operations at Pad 37. So with 2 launch complexes in Florida, we'll have the ability
I
to
can't see
fly
it.
up to
But yeah,
120
what are you
starships annually,
falling
not
10
including
feet?
our flights from Texas.
Okay.
So, action is well underway in Florida. How's it looking in Texas?
Building an RC plane.
Thanks, Tyler.
Let me know if you have any success at that. I've been trying to build RC planes for a while. Hasn't worked out very well.
Just under 6 minutes left.
Skinned my knees falling off a treadmill. Treadmills are kind of scary, low-key.
Here at Starbase as well, and we expect it to be up and running.
It would not be pleasant falling off a treadmill. Probably not as bad as getting stuck in a mountain, but
Need more hands on deck.
yeah.
Come help us build the gateway to Mars. Visit SpaceX.com.
If you want to see how great I am at building RC planes, actually I have it right next to
Couple
me.
years now.
Ah!
Nowhere more magical, more inspirational on the planet.
Huzzah! This is how good I am at building RC planes.
These things
I don't know if I that.
It's pretty insane.
You can notice a missing wing.
Exciting. And, come check us out. All right.
Absolutely, it's surreal to be here for sure. Okay, so we are looking like we're about.
You know,
5
3D
minutes
print
away
soon soon
from
once they have
launch.
money. They're pretty expensive.
Count,
He was on about on Discord. No, that's something else.
Look good, and prop load continues on.
Good design, only missing the wing. Yeah, well,
Here in just a minute.
we had a wing, but the ground had something to say about that.
It looks like, let me grab my numbers real quick. We're not tracking any issues. We are just creeping up to 90% full on the
too.
locks on the
It's my
booster,
first
we're
plane.
93%
Since
on
I got a
the
3D
ship.
printer, so
We're,
spending most
sorry,
of my
fuel
time
on
in
the
CAD-LAB
booster.
and waiting
And
for
ship,
parts
we're just
to
about
arrive
close
from
out, so only a
Banggood.
couple of minutes to go there.
It is not easy.
Got
Do your numbers,
11 million pounds
is my recommendation.
on board those 2 different stages. we'll see a couple of final things happen. Well, can't really see it. It's all going to be happening.
V2, you mean the chines? I think they still have the 4 chines.
Clear all of the.
I have a printing, but parts are really expensive. Yeah, I am very lucky that actually he's in the chat. Bobby was very gracious enough to donate or lend some electronics for me to use. That made it significantly cheaper.
On the thrust vector control, it's how we're steering the rocket. If we need to hold.
We'll see this project is. It is, I don't know, maybe exciting or not, but it'll take a while.
40 seconds. You saw us do that yesterday. We can hang out there.
So yeah, it is pretty cool.
Or so right now. That's the point. It's built into the calendar.
Also, the other recommendation I'd make for RC planes is try not to, is if you're going to design a nose wheel that's steerable, design it well, or else, or else you'll have problems.
Now, once we pass that T-minus 40
hold or no hold? I hope there's no hold. We don't want holds. We go straight into.
Ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight.
We go. We hold for no one. It's like Spaceballs. We brake for no one.
Arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction, which occurs shortly after.
Quick flight plan rundown.
T-minus 40 seconds. We do still have the ability to then reset
for this flight?
certain conditions back to T-minus
for Starship?
What happened, and if we can proceed again back down to liftoff.
It is exactly the same as Flight 9. No booster catch. Daytime splashdown is the goal.
Underneath the launch mount fires off. That happens a little bit after.
Including PEZ dispensing of
it doesn't turn off once it starts going.
Starling simulators and
if we do hit a hold or an abort at that point, so we can refill water.
in space relight.
At this point,
just got an ad. Oof. I made a mock-up of the RC plane in KST. This would be way in the future if everything goes well. I'm just building bare bones twin prop with tails on booms. The program on autopilot. Yeah. Some weird audio in the background.
Unplanned wet dress yesterday during our attempt.
I don't hear any.
So really exciting to see. But we're coming up on 2 minutes.
RC planes are much easier to make in, or not RC. Planes are much easier in KSP than real life.
Green has always been my favorite color.
2 minutes. I need to stop talking about RC planes. We need to talk about Starship because we're launching here. 2 minutes. Let me just hold on. Let me mute. Let me do a quick. See if I can find what the weird sound is.
Again, not planning on.
Sorry. All right, we're back.
Program, this affords us
I just had to mute the audio so I could check.
Super useful to be able to have that, but again.
RC Starship, yeah. All right. Starship time. Let's focus on Starship. Minute and a half into flight. No holds. We break for nobody, right?
Gathering with us right outside Star Factory here at Starbase.
I am too.
Looks like we're getting a quick TVC. That wiggle check.
It's my favorite.
Let me do one last.
Right under the launch mount.
We are at 1:07. I'm going to do a quick stream delay reset here to try and get a few seconds closer to real time. Not that it really matters. 1:06. I'm 6 seconds delayed. That'll work for me. So it is an RC Starship. It is kind of, yeah. This kind of is an RC Starship. Uncle 3D printed this huge starship the size of a Lego Saturn V. That's pretty cool. I actually have a 3D printed Starship, not with me at the moment, but, well, more accurately, I have a 3D printed Minecraft Starship. I built a Starship in Minecraft and 3D printed it, and it does not look very good because it looks very blocky. Anyway, we're through the hold. Who cares about any of that stuff?
Take us the rest of the way. 30 seconds.
Turning this up a little bit.
Lift off.
Here we go. Starship, Flight 10. Getting 3D printed tile. That's pretty cool. 20. Let me know if there's any audio changes that need to be made. Especially when the engines start going, it might get loud. But here we go. 10.
9. 8. 7. 6.
5.
4.
3. Watch ignition. We have ignition. We have 33 good engines. Watch for movement down the telemetry. And we have liftoff. Starship Flight 10 underway. Everything is looking good. 10 seconds into flight. Power is clear. You'll see the roll program here. You see 33 out of 33 good engines. I'll get the flight timeline pulled up. We are looking for max Q at 1 minute 2 seconds into flight. We have the call chamber pressure is nominal. Super Heavy is doing well. 2.5 kilometers up, 33 engines still going, 42 seconds into flight, approaching max Q.
Turn ship, avionics, power and telemetry nominal.
That's a good call right there. Looking for max Q in about 10 seconds. Not the best tracking shot right now, honestly. That's better. Good job. Alright, call for max Q imminent. Wait for it.
All right, we're a little over 1 minute into flight, about to pass through max Q.
Max Q.
Alright, we're through max Q. 2 minutes 36 is Miko.
All right, so we are through the period of maximum dynamic pressure, max stress on the
Pitch
vehicle
over
as
is
it
looking
continues
pretty
to
good. We're
fly.
through 14 kilometers.
Major event is going to be
Separation
happening
velocity is about
just
5.5
seconds from now.
kilometers an hour.
The booster will shut down all but 3 of its Raptor
I just
engines.
realized I made a
Plants will
major
continue
math
to
mistake
together
during the
globally,
last stream where I
and
was
Starship
explaining
second
some
stage
Delta V
ignites
stuff.
its engine.
You can see
The
the
ship then separates from the
Oh, we lost an
booster
engine.
and heads to space.
engine failure. We saw explosion there. There's some massive wiggling happening over here on these tiles back here, but more importantly, we just had an engine failure. It looked fairly explosive. We're still accelerating.
As we mentioned earlier, the hot stage will be jettisoned for this
Okay,
flight,
I
and
think
then
everything is
just
still
after
fine. We
the
still seem under
Raptor,
control. We still seem to be
so
pitching
we're about
over
to shut
normally.
down the first stage and perform hot staging. So let's just
This
watch
might be a problem for the return, but who cares? There's a little bit of a roll happening that's probably planned to change orientation for Miko here. Miko at 236 here. 236 Miko. Alright. So we are looking, the speed looks a touch low for Miko. Let's see, I bet Miko will be a little bit late considering the engine failure.
Seeing the engine start to throttle down.
We see the pitch over here for Miko, getting ready.
Miko.
Alright, there's Miko. The stagger down looks good. Look for ship ignition. We need 6 good engines on the ship. We have it, and we have acceleration on the ship. And let's see how the boost back looks. We have the one engine not started for boost back. The controlled flip and boost back is looking good aside from the missing engine, but this is why we have redundancy, right?
We've got 6 engines running on ship.
Alright, the ship is what matters. Booster did well enough. It did its job, not the most gracefully.
We've seen all 6 Raptors lit up on ship.
Yeah, the footage is always a little bit delayed from the telemetry.
You heard them report.
No catch, yeah, no catch. Well, they are planning on doing the catch anyway. Alright, we're already shutting down the boost back burn. That seems planned.
Ship avionics, power and telemetry nominal.
Power and telemetry are nominal. Good, good, good. Alright, ship. Booster. We don't care about booster anymore. We want ship. We should be getting those middle 3 shut off on the booster here momentarily. I'm not sure why the middle 3 are running that long on the... Okay, I think that's just... Alright, boost back shutdown. Alright. So now we are looking for SECO to occur at 8:57. All right, 8:57. So we're a little over halfway there. Not a little under halfway there.
So that was shut down. So that's the...
Come on, ship. I think we're looking for about 17,000 kilometers an hour on the velocity on the ship. So keep an eye on that. We have the
down. We relax that angle of attack a little bit.
We have the booster doing kind of in a quirky little test flight action over here
for the landing burn, and those are going to be a little unique this time.
Yeah,
the delay in my heart sync to separate. Yeah, usually on the separation, I usually just stare at the telemetry. So I look at the engine starting, and then if I see the velocity down here start moving, then I'm like, okay, I take a sigh of relief, because then I know that at least something is going right. All right, we should have hot stage jettison.
The middle ring shut down.
There it
during
is.
The initial asset. Oh, looks like we have hot stage jettison. You can see it.
That shutdown, by the way, I think I kind of saw it on the camera. It looked relatively explosive. We'll have to relook. We'll have to watch the footage back during the coast phase of the ship. So we'll see if it was a planned shutdown or a little bit more of a booby shutdown. But anyway, we have ship accelerating. It looks like nominally 6 engines still going. Booster landing is coming up.
Back in the mix for the very start of the landing.
Maybe Dan's looking at telemetry and he knows. Oh, we have grid fin activity on the booster.
Landing burn at the tower with.
Alright, and this is just a reminder, guys. This is the kind of
see how it does on its way
the kind of I don't know what to call it, the testing of the landing burn. So they're only going to light the 2 center engines for the landing burn and light one of the outer rings for the final landing burn. So we're going to do this failure testing. Yep.
40 seconds away.
We'll see the grid fins. We'll see. Hopefully the seat doesn't get ripped apart during...
That's always rad. You can see the...
Doesn't get ripped apart during the pitch over, and hopefully we actually get to see the landing burn this time. Oh wow, it must be pretty close to shore to be able to see this footage. But here we go, getting close, about 15 seconds. Oh, okay, 20 seconds away from landing burn. Let's see if it works. Yeah, we do the patented Blue Origin hover. See the vapor cone coming through. The engines look a little bit cooler this time. They don't look as glowy. So maybe they have some profile stuff going down here. There we go. We have relight. Perfect. Looking good. And now let's see how the stagger... There it goes! Alright! Blue Origin hover time.
Down to 3, including one of the middle ring.
They're controlling it! Hey! We're in the hover. We are in the hover. And it's looking pretty good. Now they're down to just 2. And they're doing it. Oh, I think they're... And now they drop it. Oh, they're actually just dropping it. Oh, shoot. I didn't realize they just drop it in.
Into the Gulf.
Here we go. And there's telemetry loss. I didn't realize they were just gonna...
The booster has...
They literally just dropped it. That wasn't a soft landing. That's actually kind of funny. Alright, anyway, back to ship. Looking good here. 6 engines. We are...
Back in space.
Acceleration is looking pretty good. Yeah, David, yeah. Pretty awesome.
Continuing its ascent.
I hope some of the, maybe NSF or Everyday Astronaut, they actually got them plonking it in. That was hilarious.
Slated for 8 minutes and 57
Alright, so we're about a minute and a half from
those 3
Seco.
RVAC, the Raptor vacuum engines, those are the bigger circles. And
Kills a lot before cutting off. Nope, we drop it.
Those will shut down first.
That was great.
We continue.
Maybe that wasn't even planned. I hope that was planned. That wasn't just a failure, but... Oh, stutter. Ship looks good. Yeah, well, Flight 9 looked good up until this point. Just let's see if they show the engine bay cam. If we get any hot spots on the vacuums, that was usually a problem. That was probably a planned vent. Hopefully that wasn't something exploding. We seem to be under control. 6 engines operating nominally.
It's like we just got a...
It was planned, yeah. I think it was too.
A late boom from the booster.
Alright, we're about 50 seconds away. Why are we yawing? Why are we yawing?
Yeah,
I mean, the engines are all still on, so I think it's probably planned.
And as we've mentioned, today's flight test is not an orbital flight, but rather one that demonstrates Starship's orbital.
I wasn't giving up. It's yawing 20... Oh, wow. I have 17,000 miles an hour. I got my units wrong. Okay, we've stopped yawing. Okay, good. I am watching every single little movement of that thing very anxiously. Ah! Ah! That doesn't look good. Ah! That looks like repellent leak.
They shut down the vacuum engines.
Maybe that's fine. It stopped when the engines turned off. The leak stopped, so maybe that's okay. Please? Looks like we're at the correct velocity.
Engine cut off.
We shut down those center 3. Successful ship engine cutoff.
Purge? They wouldn't be purging into the engine bay.
Seco, baby. There we go. That's what we want.
Nominal orbit insertion.
Okay, that's good. Nominal insertion. Now, do they have attitude control? The question is, do we have attitude control? We'll tell very shortly if this thing starts randomly spinning. So far, we have flaps are moving. We do not see random spinning going on. We have I don't think we had a 3D...
stowed position. That's why it looks like your camera's moving.
I don't think we had a 3D pitch display here, or orientation display, so...
And super pumped to see all the teams.
It does not seem to be yawing or rolling or pitching or...
We successfully lifted off right on time at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, we seem to be in control.
Looking good today.
Does not appear to be any yaws developing or rolls, or we seem to be under control.
Yeah, ship able to complete its ascent burn all the way in. You can see some of the shadows start to creep as it's going to be eventually flying into...
I want them to just turn away from the ship. I don't want to keep looking at it. I'm too nervous looking at it. Get it away from me. Get this ship out of here.
Orbit completed its burn, and
Alright, let's check on the timeline.
Now we've got a whole bunch more to go.
What's the
we've got
is
some
the downfall you're
exciting
saying?
demonstrations planned while we're on orbit.
Alright.
That right there, we just saved the FTS, the flight termination system. That's that automatic flight safety system we have on the vehicle. So that is now turned off.
Alright, payload deploy demo starts at 18 minutes, so we're about 8 minutes away. We just saw a couple puffs. Those seemed relatively controlled.
Deployment of those Starlink simulators. We've got some payload inside of
Alright, we have a few minutes here, so I'm gonna take a real quick break from the live, and I wanna watch the booster ascent real quick. I wanna see if I wanna look at that engine failure really quick. I wanna see if it was an explosive failure or a planned shutdown. Let's see what we had here. Let's see, when did that engine fail? This is the first time we've had an engine fail on ascent, so that's interesting. They remember for Flight 4, they shut one down basically at liftoff, but that was a controlled shutdown. There, right there. And you see the delay? Maybe I didn't see anything. Yeah, right there. You see that? There, the flame got a little redder. That actually looks like a shutdown, because normally the mixture ratios change as the engine shuts down, so you generally see the right there, yep. You generally see the plume go from like that really nice, clear, purplish, light reddish methane glow to kind of a fire. And then we'll see. Just look one last time. Look right here. There it is. There's a shutdown that looked controlled. So that was a controlled shutdown. Nothing explosive. Let's just look at hot staging. If we look at hot staging, we might be able to get a view of that engine right there. Off, no fires. That looks relatively like a controlled shutdown to me. And then we'll watch the booster landing again really quick, so you can see. Let's see what this looked like. So there's ignition. That one engine did not start up. See the seagulls passing in front of the camera. There's down to 3, and then they go straight down to just 2. I assume that was planned, and they didn't. That wasn't a failure of that engine. They're not showing the speed right now, so they shut it down. We'll see if we'll see if it's a shutdown or if an explosive. That looks, yeah, shutdown. That was probably gimbaling, and then we just plonk it into the ocean. Well, is there something happening on the ship? Most slower than IFT. Well, we don't want any spin. Any spin is bad. The yaw is definitely substantially different than last time we looked at it. It's not rolling at all. So that is... Are they talking right now?
Same size.
So that is probably a little bit of cause for optimism. Like, if they're in an uncontrolled situation, like, it wouldn't... I need something with... Here, I have a propeller next to me. They do have to get it. Yeah, they may just be reorienting to do the PEZ dispensing. So let's see if I could... So, like, if you're in an uncontrolled kind of spin, like they were in flight... So what they're doing... What's happening right now is what seems like is they're going, like... They're doing that. But if they were truly uncontrolled... They'd be doing like, you'd see some sort of rolling. You'd see it roll and then yaw, and then there'd be a pitch develop, and then it would go like that. But since we are purely kind of doing a wah, there's no wow going on, I think that means we have attitude control. Yeah, we're coming up into sunset right now. While we have a few more minutes before PEZ disposal, or PEZ dispensal, that's not a word. Dispensing. I want to just very quickly look at that Seco again, because it kind of looked like something was happening in the engine bay. If it was rolling, then yeah. If there was a roll is really the big symptom, the big sign. You know, it's kind of it's like, you know, if you have a runny nose, it means that's a bad example. If you're sneezing, it means you have a cold. And if your ship is rolling, it means you do not have control. When there is roll, there is no... Let me try that again. When there is roll, there is no control. That's what we should say. Like Master Oogway. My students, you must know, when the ship has a roll, There is no control. Anyway. This is what I want to look at. That's a little bit of a hot spot. That's been happening on almost every single flight. I know Seth has footage of the booster. I'll have to check it out. I can't obviously show it on screen for copyright reasons, but I will check it out later on. This looks suspiciously like a leak to me. You can see it kind of combusting a little bit with the gases and exhaust. That really looks like a tiny leak to me. Door opening in a minute. We're only a minute away. I've been rambling for that long. That reminds me of the calculations, Shadu. You mentioned doing some maths about planes. I'm 17 doing A-level maths and physics, but I haven't learned this yet. If you're on Discord, DM me. I can share what wisdom I have for RC planes. It's not much, because I've mostly crashing happens, but I was 18 when I started building RC planes, so... Actually, I was 17 the first time. I wasn't very serious about it the first time I tried. That endeavor didn't last very long. We still have no roll, and the yaw is stabilized, so they definitely have control. Very important to get your wing area right for RC planes. That's the most important, because if you don't size your wing correctly, if you size it too small, your plane will not fly for your weight. And then when you're also sizing, you have to make sure... You think it's a purge? Why don't they purge into the engine bay? Maybe they do. Open, please. Yes, the question of the door. And also, a good thing is to keep an eye on some of these particles floating around, because if you remember... Oh, it's opening! Oh, shoot, It's opening. This looks very well contained. If you look at these particles... Remember the last time there was a pressure issue.
Deploy prep.
There was a pressure issue that caused this area to have a high pressure, which stopped the door from opening. But as you can see, these particles are all floating freely. They floated freely as the door opened, which means there was no pressure differential between the door, between the outside and the inside. Meaning there is no leak, at least in the payload bay. Why is the payload not a banana? That is a good question. So yes, camera. If I had to bet, there's no cameras on the...
See the first satellites start to deploy.
I bet there is no camera in these satellites.
Plus 18 minutes and 27
Dumplings, yep. I was just going to check, and Dan just told it for me. 1827.
Hal listened this time. He
cooperated. All right, very exciting. It's working. Flight 10 is the chosen one so far. Flight 10 is going really well. Let's not jinx it here. SpaceX finally learns how to open a door without spinning their crane silent nearly 200 kilometers above Earth. Yep. All right. We're losing Starlink a little bit here. Come back. All right, here it comes. Right now. Yeah, do it. They're not doing it.
Ship has transitioned to payload deploy.
All right. So we'll just stand by. Standing by. Did they break something? I think I may have jinxed it. It just said Flight 10 was going so well. I can't tell if that shaking is artifacts or the vehicle is actually shaking. Everyone's gone very quiet. Oh! Oh! Something happened. Oh, it's moving! You can see that. Oh, it's moving. It's working. Oh, hey, it worked. Woo. Oh, did it get stuck? It might have gotten a little stuck. Did they get it out? They might have got it out. It's not there anymore. I think they got it. Or no, there it is. Is that a new one?
Do that. There we go.
Oh, here's another one. Is that going to go?
There goes another one.
Bye-bye. Hey. But finally, after how many flights has this been with these dummy links on it? And it finally worked. And it looks like there's no cameras on them.
The energy in both Hawthorne and Starbase.
Finally, payload deploy test is going well.
Finally getting to deploy some of those simulated satellites.
Another one. Oh, here it goes. The rack's moving down.
Moving down. Next row. There we go.
Yeah, they should show like a flap cam or something. See if we can see them on the outside.
One every minute or so.
Yeah, Valkyrie. Yeah.
This is just kind of a dress rehearsal for when we're gonna be
just a stepper moto and a bike chain. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Be funny if it actually is a bike chain.
Massive increase to Starlink's capability. Each one of them.
They need to get those Starlinks out there. This friggin' data is coming through a little choppy. We need to get those deployed.
That's 20 times more.
It'd be funny if this thing breaks halfway through. All right, here comes another one. The bike chain is moving. Here we go.
You know, stepping.
Space grade bike chain. Yep.
There goes another one.
Goodbye. Starlink number 3 deployed, or it stopped. Oh, trying again. We're backing up. We're backing up. We're going in and out. Is this a second or third? I couldn't tell if this doesn't seem to be working perfectly.
All right, so as we said, we've got 8 total that we're going to go through today. It's about a minute for each one, but
let's see if they here we go. Just send it out faster. Just run it through. Get it out there. Is it going to get stuck, or is it gone? Hey, it's out. He did it. Pumpkin. This could be a little more graceful, but it's working. Yeah. All right, let's bring the next one down. This thing is hilarious. Starlink, Starlink. I think those W-links aren't rigid enough. We need auto strut going on it. Starship is working. I know, this is crazy. It's anti-climb a little bit. Oh, there's the evil demonic COPVs from Ship 36. Or potentially demonic COPVs. Anyway, payload deploy is supposed to be completed at 25. I don't know if they'll get it finished on schedule.
Watching the V3 Starlinks on Starship, we're going to be flying about 60 each time, so it'll be about an hour.
Yeah, finally a payload, yeah. Yeah, this thing is awesome.
It's just going to be
this thing is
massive increase.
Pretty awesome. Here we go.
It's going to enable.
Let's see, when is Relight? Relight's at 37, so about 15 minutes from now is Relight.
Starlink is just a tremendous part.
Definition of a doohickey, yeah. This is
yeah, absolutely.
This is probably the most doohickey thing that I've ever doohickied.
Yeah, the amazing views we have on the vehicle today.
Oh, God. I mean, we've been trying to get the payload door to work since Flight 3.
Before we deploy actual Starlinks.
I don't think Flight 3 had Starlink simulators on it. I think Flight 7 was the first one with simulators. That deploys another, yeah. How'd you think that worked? First customer spaceflight. It's the Jebediah junkyard, and yep. Yeah, this looks like it was manufactured from parts found at Jeb's junkyard. 7 flights to do this, yep. Big milestone for Starship. Payload deploy success.
As looking smooth.
Well, it's not a success until the door closes. Not a success until the door closes. I mean, like when it goes back and forth. What? Are you saying when it's like gone in and back, it's deployed to them, and I just didn't notice? I don't know. Who cares? I know that like out and back thing is kind of. I thought that was just them having to redo the alignment. Maybe that's something they're planned. Anyway. Yeah, let's hope the door. Yes, it just didn't.
Looks like we've got one left.
It didn't release that one. It just went to the end, and now it's coming. I don't know what it's doing. Why does it keep doing that? This is very doohickey behavior. Just back.
There you go. 1 remaining, so 7 of the 8.
Is it just not working and they have to try it again?
And then we will have completed our first ever payload deploy operation. Just a reminder, we're on a suborbital trajectory. These satellites on that exact same suborbital trajectory.
Yeah, we're kind of losing footage here.
Entirely. On that same
just to point out, I don't know if anything's wrong. It may be reorienting for the engine deploy, but there is a slight roll in the vehicle. It used to be perfectly like this, and now it's kind of like this. I'm not sure we have a problem, just something to be aware of. And now let's see if we can get the door closed.
There. Yeah. Now it's empty. Looking a little lonely.
Big milestone is closing the door.
Simulator satellites.
Really, really cool to see them
back to FT3 if it doesn't close.
Again, people that have followed know Starlink's really critical for the Starship.
Imagine if the door doesn't close and Starship's
getting all those views back from the cameras on
past
Starship.
it inside. I don't think it would matter if it doesn't close because that's on the leeward side, so I don't think it really get that much
It's
heating.
going to be hard to make stuff out, but in a little while the sun's going to start coming up.
Starlink Crew 4 deployed. Starlink simulation conscriptly. Pending door closing. Yeah, they've shifted. They've moved away from the inside cam, so I don't know.
Starship data cameras also use it on the cameras that we use.
Rules probably from the totally big force from the deploy. Yeah, but they wouldn't. I guess maybe I figured just they'd be using RCS or the ullage gas to kind of correct that, but maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care if it's rolling around because yeah, I mean you would expect that thing to be.
With Starship, we actually get pretty
imparting some rolling and pitching moments on it and yawing moments.
The space is
door closed.
Pretty minimal. We get about 120 megabits per second. That's split between.
It hasn't kept rolling, so it is probably fine. But I guess yeah, there's no reason to waste ullage gas correcting it. I guess it doesn't really matter what attitudes the ship in when it's in space. It just has to be at the right attitude for engine relight and for entry.
To get that in real time, so just really incredible.
Yeah, Starlink definitely affords us all this capability. And reminder, it's the world's largest satellite constellation. All
right, we have a little bit of downtime. I'm going to move away here. Just in case something happens, someone let me know if we get confirmation of the door close. I just want to very brief. You can see the, yeah, this hole looks very, and it starts, you can see the roll if I just move through here. You can see it rolling. You can see, you can, like if I scrub through, you can definitely see. Well, let's just see if it helps. So let's just look here. So boom. So we have a little bit of a roll happening, a yaw happening here. And then it stops yawing right at this attitude. And this is when payload deploy starts. And then let's just make sure it doesn't start rolling until the Starlings start getting moved. No Starlings yet. A little bit of yaw happening. The roll is happening right about as the payload. I guess the door opening may have imparted a slight moment on it, and then we start to, yeah, it definitely starts to exacerbate once the payload deploy starts happening. So that probably was, they have rotate. Oh, see, this is why I need to stop moving away from live. Are they reorienting? No, nothing's happened. It's in the same. Yeah, it hasn't moved. This means they probably have control if it hasn't moved in the last few minutes. They closed? They closed? Door closed! Yippee! Door is closed. Alright, I want to just very briefly, while we have a little bit of time, I really want to look at that engine again. I mean, it seems like everything is all dandy and under control, but does that look like a vent? That looks like, it almost looks like there's a hose right along here. And that looks like a hole in the hose. Perhaps that's planned and I'm just being paranoid. What does E5 mean? Wait. They've never... Are these numbers new? Does anyone know what this means? You're going to go to bed, Vulcan? You don't want to stay for entry? That's the most exciting part. But yeah, you got to sleep. Engine 5. Oh, yeah, engine 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, engine. Okay. I've just never seen those before. That makes sense, though. All right. Let's get back to live. Say the end, my savings shows are. Yeah. Siri, why did you turn on? I don't want you spying on me, Tim Cook. Are they still talking or are they in techno music mode? They're in techno music mode. Actually, I want to be a little bit cautious about techno music mode because it started to kind of show some signs of being copyrighted. They were on flight 8, was it? Like, if you're not going to lie, alright, well, have a good night, Vulcan. It's either Purge or Deluge for RVAC shut off. Could very well be. Alright, so we are pending. Let's see, it's flying eastward, so I believe they do it prograde. They're flying southeasterly. Well, actually, it would be north. They would be flying northeasterly. I think by the time of the relight. Actually, that makes sense. So you would expect to see a little bit of a yaw because of the trajectory, because they're not in a perfectly equatorial orbit. So you would see some precession with the direction they're going, because, you know, you're going southeast as you descend down your orbit, and then once you reach your descending node, a little bit of a shake there, you start going northeast as you, ascend on your orbit. But you can actually still see they are still going southeast right now. So, but you'll see once they get past here, they'll start curving around the planet and going northeast. So anyway, the reason I mention all that is because I believe in flight, when did they start doing when did they do the successful in-space relight? Flight 5 and 6. They did it prograde, I believe. And so they would have to be facing probably generally like this direction to be prograde. And the relight is at 37, so 7 minutes away. So it is my estimation that they need to get from this orientation to that orientation in 7 minutes. Let's hope that happens. Unless they're doing kind of more like a normal or something. Vibrations, yeah. Maybe. Particles are back, yeah. You can see they're kind of spinning around. This could just be like weird camera artifacting. Anyway, we just see if Elon's tweeted anything. Elongated muskrat. What do you got for me? Great work by the SpaceX team. And then wow, he was tweeting some political thing literally like the second this thing was lifting off. So he is very preoccupied. We should be, let's see if they're talking yet. Techno music time. They use gimbals? Are you saying they're gonna, on my end is turning prograde? Is your stream? Well, I can just scrub back and forth and see if it's moving. It's turning retrograde is what it's doing. No, it is turning prograde. No, yep, it is turning. It is in a reorientation. Okay, perfect. All right, things seem to be going to plan. It makes sense for the ship to be pointed prograde for the engine relay, so that in case something goes wrong, it would at least be pointed relatively in the correct direction for reentry. Yeah, that I bet is why they do it prograde. That's a good observation. I hadn't thought of that. The gimbals will cancel out the rotation. I don't think if they're not in the correct orientation for the relight, I don't think they will do the relight, and I don't think they would do a relight purposely involving a gimbal. Because if they don't do the relight, and if something goes wrong, they may be in an attitude unsuitable for entry. If one immigrates to any given country, they must respect the laws and culture of that country. Is this Elon's tweet? He did tweet that earlier. And it's turning prograde now. Yep, prograde. Yep, we've definitely seen the roll flatten out too. Well, not flatten out, but they've gone from like a this-ish attitude to a this-ish attitude. Tweet anything during the launch. We're 34 minutes into the flight, and his most recent tweet that was 35 minutes ago, for like 1 minute before. He tweeted, wow. And then he tweeted, great work by the SpaceX team during the payload deploy. I mean, one gimbal engine is incented, so the engine would have to gimbal to stop. Well, that's true. That is very true. Yeah, it is going to impart a rotation. That is a good observation. Oh, hey, you can see the little dragon logo on there. Peak Dad. Yeah, he's very, yeah. Elon does that. Like, they're probably going to start talking here in a minute, but I'm going to have to go on a little speech. Elon has been noted to engage in type of, like like in the lead up to like very crucial moments or like intense launches or stuff like that, it has been documented that he gets distracted and likes to talk about other things, probably to like not have to think about the launch. Like people have said during very important launches, he's been talking about like Mars and how they're going to build a colony on Mars. So I think it's like a 248 till relay. Yep, we have the reorientation seems to be going well. We need to be a little bit more easterly facing, or southerly facing rather. So hopefully they get that orientation. You can definitely see the reorientation. They're doing it very slowly. Probably just a one puff of RCS here. NSF print of that vapor cone at max Q is awesome. I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out. You know what is really awesome? I'm sure they won't mind me showing this because this is their product. Is the patch for Flight 10 from NSF. I'm generally not that into patches and stuff, but the Flight 10 patch from NASA Spaceflight is beautiful. Look at that. That is a stunning patch. It is the Phoenix, right? Rising from the ashes of the failed flights before. They re-enter in daylight. They will start re-entry at nighttime, but they will end re-entry in daytime. They're probably pretty close to their descending node, so this is probably their the correct attitude for entry. If you remember, the re-entry occurs basically right over Madagascar is where the beginning of re-entry starts. So this is right around where it becomes daytime. So I bet this is the correct entry, the correct attitude. They're starting to pitch up a little bit. I bet the talking is back, so let's listen in.
Something we're really going to have
okay,
to
the door opened.
Orbital missions.
The door did open, Lampeter. It did. It's awesome.
We are
in space at 48.
A couple seconds away.
Let's see if they do it. Purge, yeah, this is probably Purge or a chill.
Sorry, we're about 20 seconds away, psych. So we got a little bit more time. So we are going to see one of those Raptor engines light back up.
48 seconds, 10 seconds away.
We are through the deorbit demo gate.
Okay, so we just crashed, oof.
It momentarily.
All right, 48, well, it might not happen exactly on the time, so let's see. Watch for engine ignition on the telemetry, right here.
Light demo startup.
There it is. We have startup, we have acceleration. Oh, they
shut down. They
gimbaled, and there it is. That is the onboard audio. The onboard camera is very delayed, but it looks like it worked perfectly. All right. Good for entry. Let's get reoriented and let's get a controlled entry. Nominal orbit. Let's get reoriented.
Very exciting to see.
Nominal relight, and let's get block 2.
Here, so again,
finally
really critical for when we're doing
finally get to see the heat shield on block 2 get tested.
So much fun.
Let's finally see it happen.
We're able to actually light. Oh, Dan turned it on. Light that engine. Not set my co-host on fire, and that's what we'll eventually do to break out of orbit, come back down to Earth. So really cool. To see
Flight 10 is truly a redeemer so far. Everything's perfect. Let's not jinx it though. Flight 4, let's hopefully not. This is here just to kind of set the mood here. This is the first. It's the first re-entry of the brand new vehicle design. So we've seen entry before of Starship, but this is a fairly novel thing that's about to happen. So, this is, back in the SN3, SN4 days where, or really the SN4 was the first time we saw the entry. And it was like, oh. So, definitely something exciting. This is a big moment. We get to see how the redesigned forward flaps will do. We really have to keep an eye on the burn through. Because if they get 0 burn through on those forward flaps, Starship will be at a good spot. And Shingle, yeah. And the nice thing about the curvature, the fact that we don't live on a flat Earth, is the fact that SN4, Flight 4, I hope I didn't say SN4, Flight 4, SN4 very much did not attempt, Flight did not attempt a re-entry. Flight 4 is actually my first really clear memory of following the Starship program. There is that happening. Evil and intimidating COPV, yeah, very much. So, Yeah, SN4 was my first real clear memory. It's like, oh, boy, golly. Ice particles on the lens, yeah. Anyway, my point about the curvature of the Earth is you see that you can notice it's defective when you play KSP. If you have, because the curvature of the Earth, if you have your attitude like this, and I don't know if I have anything, I have a bowl here, a bowl. We have the curvature of the Earth. I mean, also they have. No, I think that's just some of the insulation, the secondary ablative layer peeling off, these are tested tiles anyway, so I don't think that's a big deal. Probably not a great thing, but anyway, let me just, so if this is my phone is, or I'll use it better. The screwdriver is the ship, and this is the Earth. So if you do nothing and just stay in this orientation, as you go around the orbit, you can see your attitude is all of a sudden, if we rotate it, we see we're 90 degrees all of a sudden. So you basically don't have to do any correction. You just follow the curvature and you automatically pitch up. And it looks like we are in a healthy entry attitude. SN4 is why they use nitrogen for pressure test. That's like probably, I didn't know that, but that would make sense. We know this hole in the off, yeah, I think peeling like a banana. During Starship everything was SN15 was launching on my birthday and tuning in the stream. Oh, cool. Wow. Thanks for choosing my stream to patronize for a very historic flight. Clean your dishes. Yeah, I know. This isn't dirty. Well, am I showing the dirty side? I just had some strawberries earlier today in this thing, so that's why it looks a little dirty. Chance for perfect flight. Let's get our hopes up. Well, yeah, let's get our hopes up. Why not? Your streams are just more calm than everyday astronaut and stuff. More? Oh, okay. Water review. I don't have any water. I don't have a water bottle. Tap reverse osmosis tap water. Worth the insomnia. Yeah. Well, nice for me. It's just an evening, so this is like dinner time for me. I'm in the same time zone actually as lunch. Oceanine again, very much so. Yeah, imagine remembering that was ancient times for this channel, water reviews. All right, we're still in techno music mode here. Entry is at 47 minutes. Now, their listed entry time isn't really when entry. You can define entry as whatever. Actually, at around 115 kilometers, you generally start to see plasma form roughly at this point, just very light plasma. I bet if we move to a flat cam, you can even see the engines are looking a little orange. That's probably the sun actually reflecting as we approach sunrise, as we are over top Madagascar, which is what we expected. Flaps configured for entry interface. It seems so. They're not showing flap cams. I believe these flaps are live on the telemetry, which is really cool. So if we might be able to see them move on the telemetry display. That was a flap damaged. I think that was just TPS damage. I don't think that was actually structure of the flap damage. If the structure of the flap, if the steel is damaged, that'll be a problem, but yeah. Techno music. Here we go. Yeah, we can see, I don't know exactly what that is. Oh, that is the structure of the flap damaged. That might be a problem. I hope that thing can still move. That might be a problem. That's just the steel peeling. I don't know how that happened. What happened there? Is that the hinge? Yeah, the hinge doesn't look damaged. It just looks like the steel that's covering the hinge mechanism is damaged. No more perfect. Yeah, we had our first issue. Is this flap? This is a forward flap, much better condition than the aft flap. Looks like it's getting deployed for entry. As long as it works, as long as that hinge doesn't, as long as none of that metal gets like, Poe can call it out. As long as that whatever's peeling doesn't like get jammed in the hinge, that's what I'd be worried about, is it getting jammed. Oh, second issue, yeah, the booster had an engine failure. This first issue with the ship. So tracking two failures on Flight 10 so far. 2 suboptimal occurrences. That flap issue is actually kind of concerning though. Here's the plasma starting. Let's tune back in. I don't want to get copyright struck, so I'm not gonna. And we don't need to listen to techno music. We're through 100 kilometers, so we're like under the Kármán line. Why aren't we talking? Dan, come back.
To the 10th flight test
hello, Dan.
of Starship, and as
missing some tiles here.
Started re-entry has begun. We are starting to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere.
All right, let's just keep an eye on this telemetry. Let's make sure that that right-hand side flap looks like they lost some tiles here, which we saw them flapping around during launch.
Spacecraft today, but if we do make it all the way down to the water, who knows?
I'm cussing a tile head. Oh, it very well could be. Yeah, I bet you're right. I bet that's exactly what happened. I bet, yeah, one of these guys fell off and smacked into that.
Reusable heat shield.
That is almost certainly what happened.
Has never been done before. It's one of
we still seem to be under control, though.
Engineering challenges still out there for us, and so this is the time to really dig in and get that data.
Yeah, absolutely. And re-entry is a critical phase of flight, so we'll need information.
This flap isn't moving around like crazy, so that's probably means that that right-hand side flap is working.
Really the main reason why
flap peeling would be newsworthy on an airliner. I look for Starship's ads, whatever. Sexy. Speaking of which,
Starship's design. And if the ship manages to make it all the way to re-entry, it will collect valuable data on the spacecraft.
Speaking of that,
atmosphere at hypersonic speeds or more than 5 times the speed of sound.
This happened on a 737 just a few days ago.
This is when
a flap, literally a flap, kind of peeled away a little bit. Just kind of funny.
Plasma sheath builds up around the outside.
But anyway, put some tape on it. Yeah, they're not showing that camera, which is kind of mildly annoying.
Talk to either satellites out in space.
Ooh, good camera. They're not showing the
on the ground.
The shot they showed all the time for all the other re-entries was that downward one on the flap, the forward flap. Whoa!
At just a much higher frequency.
That is not good.
That's not what we want to see. So we just saw some of the aft skirt just take a hit. So we've got some visible damage on the aft skirt.
This is the shot I was talking about.
And again, we are.
Maybe this will pull a flight forward work.
As we go through.
That was definitely like a tile failure, I think. But that was one of those weaker tile locations. So maybe that was something they're okay with. We still seem to be under control, though.
Critical places across the vehicle. So.
Because that's not like if the engine skirt pops, that's not the end of the world. As long as the engines aren't destroyed.
To learn what
as long as the engines aren't destroyed.
Next version of Starship. So.
Oh, we're still under control.
45 seconds into the flight.
Let's see, where's peak heating?
Ticking up a little bit on re-entry already, but the light show
doesn't say on the timeline when peak heating. It's around 60-ish kilometers or something.
20 minutes or so until our.
You can that's some peeling. That looks like a
splashdown.
Tile peeling away.
6 minutes into.
That's probably not good. What caused that? I bet that's one of the spots where they had a tile missing intentionally.
Land on Mars, where there are obviously no runways or other humans to help us out, so we are doing
this concerns me more than what happened in the engine bay or in the skirt.
Landing enables us to have more rapid reusability with these vehicles.
Once we get into the 60s is when we start to. We'll see if it melts.
The ship itself, it's a little over 50 meters tall. We've got. Those 6.
But hey, I mean, we've gotten it this far. They have data on the heat shield. It's not. It's really not the
region which flaps have control.
Yeah, that's actually not a huge hole. That's a relatively small hole.
At this point, the flaps have control.
And it looks.
That means we're getting into a dense enough part of the atmosphere that the flaps can start controlling us. We're not only reliant.
Okay, this is the damaged flap. It definitely seems to be in control. It's on the side. Yeah, it doesn't actually appear to be on the heat shield side, which is actually very reassuring. So maybe it wasn't a tile. Maybe it was some sort of pressure thing. That could mean that some sort of fuel issue happened, and we no longer have engines for the landing. But it looks like whatever damage happened over here too. So it looks like that.
Thank you, Plasma, for giving us this view as we start coming down.
The flap looks a little damaged, but we're alive still. I hit the RVAX. Yeah, the Plasma. You're right. It would hit the RVAX.
To the skirt, definitely interesting. I will note when we started doing these missing tile tests, we were intentionally removing them only in the skirt. That's
it's possible. It may actually
tanks or anything else that's kind of structured.
Sorry to mute him real quick. Possibly what happened is a tile fell off of either a flap or on the side of the skirt, and it just hit the skirt, and that's what caused the damage. Maybe nothing. We'll have to I don't want to start looking back now because we're watching the entry live.
15 minutes since launch. We're going to see those colors start to build up a little bit. We are at the point where we're in dense enough atmosphere.
Anything is in a plated heat shield, yeah. So the other thing you want to watch for is you watch these like streaking, kind of burny, crackly, sparky-looking things. When you see those, that's when you know some sort of some
sunlight. So we
some sort of roughness, some sort of something not smooth. Something is chipping away. So we want to see as little of the chipping as we can. You can see a little bit of chipping here.
A little bit further into this reentry.
But we really want to watch when you get into like the high to mid 60s is when this gets interesting.
Hopefully a bright blue.
Chat, do you want to create this? I wouldn't put myself on a Starship. Not for a little while. Oh, we see some. That is an aft flap, but that's the damaged. That one took damage there. You can see.
These cameras are really cool. We added these.
We have some burn through.
Several
that hinge is done.
At the flaps.
We just lost a hinge. Hopefully, this is what happened on Flight 4. Hopefully, these other hinges can compensate. We just lost a hinge.
Where they connect.
We lost
to
a hinge.
Ship itself are some of the most.
All right, we're getting into the spicy parts now. So.
Do missing tiles on.
No, it's yawing. It's definitely yawing. I think we've lost control.
We're kind of being mean.
Maybe not.
A little bit. We're really trying.
We just need to see if that flap moves
and kind of poke on what some of its weak points are. I mean, we even have missing tiles over some of those fuel tank sections of the ship itself, and so we're really trying to see what.
It doesn't. It's not.
We're doing this over completely.
No, maybe we're still under control. They are under control. We have lost a hinge though, so. And probably the other hinge on the other side is probably,
assuming we make it all the way down to,
is probably not long for this world. So we've probably lost 2 hinges so far. Who needs them?
We do have at least one buoy, everybody's favorite camera person out in the Indian Ocean right now.
I thought my hinge is medium rare. I think your hinges are going to be a little more well done at this point.
That's our planned landing location.
All right, we're getting close to max heating.
Any live views of the ship,
where the control is going to be tested is that max Q or max entry Q or whatever they call it. Because when there's the most pressure and there's, and then obviously during the belly flop will be a big test point. But we seem to be okay. Just we're waiting for the max heating call. Or peak heating. This is definitely a little sketchy, to be sure. But we're in one piece still. Kind of.
All right, so we're about 10 minutes until we're probably going to start hearing some of the other...
Hinges are taking the day off, yeah. Don't need them.
Yep, in about 10 minutes, like Dan said, Starship will be transonic.
Look at the right. The ship, they moved the camera.
The velocities of airflow surrounding
engine cameras look, yeah, gorgeous. The forward flaps are doing absolutely beautifully. Look at that. Block 2. This is why they made the change. Look at how clean that forward flap is.
For reference,
like, they could almost honestly consider moving the aft flaps back a little bit.
Fly at speeds between Mach 0.74.
Because the aft flaps are the ones having the issues. These forward flaps are perfect.
575 miles per hour or 700.
Remove tiles for sure. Could be.
Kilometers per
but
hour.
they've definitely lost 2 hinges.
Yeah, and after transonic comes subsonic, which just means you're slower than.
All right, but we're basically leveling out here, so we're in the
right now. But by the time we hit subsonic, we're essentially belly
approaching 1 hour.
There we go. There's that sunlight. So we're seeing the Earth now come back.
All right, we're in daylight. We're approaching Australia.
During this, and you're
hopefully we're on course still, and we're not crashing into Australia.
Not extreme ways, but a little extreme. As we're trying to really stress.
All right, cameras are getting a little shaky, but telemetry is holding.
Specifically, those.
We are probably right about in peak heating right now, if I remember. They may be flying a different profile, but if my memory serves me correctly, around on flight 4, 5, and 6, this is where peak heating was.
We are pushing it beyond essentially what we think will.
The hinge that could, yeah. Well, in some cases, the hinge that couldn't. I think they have 2 or 3.
So again,
I think they have 3 or 4 hinges in total. So we have 2 or 3 hinges on each flap.
But we're doing that.
That is just.
We're really trying to find what are the edges that we can.
We're still in control though. We see a lot of stuff burning away, but.
And water down below us.
It's mostly on that bottom side. Oh, G4. Oh, this is amazing.
Until we start hitting.
I am unbelievably happy we have this.
Once we hit subsonic,
we're awesome.
basically just belly.
Unbelievably happy. Oh, I just double audioed. Sorry. Other side has a broken flap. Oh. No, I thought that was the telemetry showing like a flap falling off. I mean, it definitely is damaged. I hope it's still on. We should be at, we haven't heard the call unless I've missed it, but we should be at peak heating. Perching 1G. Boeing level safety. Yeah, Boeing would be proud to have a result like this. This is a good day for Boeing. Heck, this is a good day for SpaceX. What am I talking about? A lot of Boeing shade. That aft flap is still going. Kind of. We haven't seen it move much, but...
All right, so about 55.5 minutes in, you can see the sun is up. Again, we intentionally designed these flights to lift off in the evening here, so we get these...
It kind of looks to be pitching forward. I know the telemetry doesn't bear that out, but...
On the ship, assuming we make it all the way down.
Catch point's holding on. Oh, I haven't even looked at the catch points. Yeah, here they are.
Powered by Starlink.
Yeah, the catch point is doing beautifully.
In the landing zone in the Indian Ocean, hopefully giving us a view again.
But it just, to me, looks like we're pitching forward.
Not from the ship itself. That means we nailed our landing target.
Starship is past peak heating.
Oh!
Alright, we just heard the call out that we're past peak heating.
As far as Flight 6, well, yeah, well, this has a lot more burn through than Flight 6. Those aft flaps are not in the best shape, but we seem to be in control still.
And at this point, again, the flaps are controlling, so this movement you're seeing is that forward flap.
We are through peak heating. Now we just look for max Q, and that'll be a big test for these flaps here. Let's see if they have enough control.
As we're coming down.
We fly forward again, yeah. God, this is never a dull day at SpaceX, right? Excitement guaranteed, that's what Elon likes to say. Excitement guaranteed. I'd like to see it. Look out, 0. Just look. Can we just take a minute at that? 0 on the forward flaps. 0. You could almost argue that they can move them forward a little bit. I mean, that is just perfect.
All 4 of the flaps, 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Oh, that is
really good close-up.
Rough. That aft flap.
As we obviously don't have a camera that can see the entire heat shield,
but it seems to be surviving.
Give us kind of the best that we can do. But looking at those flaps is really
clouds zipping by, yeah.
Super critical for controlling the ship.
That flap is still alive.
To maneuver kind of cross range, so as you're coming in, you can see in that indicator.
That is just a section missing, but these hinges are all fine though. We have these hinges are alive, and
we are
pretty sure I started to notice that too. It might be planned. It might be trying to correct its trajectory or something.
Like we got a little bit of burn through.
It's possible that just because of
part of it,
because of that they've totally lost the accuracy.
Control.
Dan just said maintaining control, so has barbecue. Yeah, a little burn through.
Should be just about 5 minutes away until we hear that we're transonic.
All right, get that G meter back up. I want to see max Q. That's what I'm really worried about. Because if you remember when the Flight 4 flap burned, you can see the aft flap moving right there a little bit, and it moved. When you had the burn through on the Flight 4 flap, they lost. Ooh, we have more burn through happening here. But as long as this hinge, we honestly could lose all that and be fine. As long as this hinge is alive, we may not have an accurate landing, but this is pretty awesome. As long as nothing, that piece I don't want it to hit an engine or something. That'd be bad. But
a little bit toasty on the aft skirt.
But we're alive still.
As we continue coming in.
We're alive. The tiles look less charred. I mean, we're not through entry yet, so maybe they'll get charred. But if you remember on flight, there's that look starting to come. That's hot. It is hot. That's hot. But we're in control. We're at 2 Gs now. Thank you. Coming back to meter thing. Doesn't look terrible.
Past peak heat.
Yeah, only on Starship does this not look terrible. Imagine if a shuttle was doing that. Whew. That would not be a good day.
About 48.
But Starship,
counting down to
who cares?
Kilometers an hour.
Missing half a flap doesn't matter. Don't need it. Didn't need those parts. Yeah, this is efficiency. We're losing mass here. We're adding payload capacity.
A little under 4 minutes from
some
now.
flex tape. Yeah, Steve Lava chicken.
Right now we've got kind of
Elon's
a lot of
lava.
forward
Elon's
momentum,
lava rocket.
And then eventually by the time we hit subsonic.
All right, here we go. Flap. Oh, are they gonna extend the flaps to try and? Don't do that.
Where we are going to essentially try to fully deploy those aft flaps.
Oh, don't do that! Oh my God, don't do that! Oh no!
This is meant to test the extremes for the vehicle.
Watch the G meter. We may already... Oh, there's the G meter going up. Oh, we are losing control. Okay, okay, okay. My God. Okay, okay. This is ridiculous.
Right.
Okay, it did it. Oh, that is a chunk of missing
swinging
flap.
out. Again, we are...
That was awesome.
Putting ship through the ringer on this.
All right, it looks like we've made it through entry. We're in control. All right, transitioning to the belly flop. All right, so transonic, hopefully I'm not speaking too soon, but transonic is planned for 1 hour 3:15.
We're still
so I think whether or not we hit that is a kind of a decent indication of how on target we are. Because if we get the transonic call way outside that planned time, it probably means we're someplace we shouldn't be. You know, tune the PID. Well, they just freaking extended giant flaps at like Mach 3, so
getting through kind of that.
But yes, well, this is probably how they tune the PID. L reaction wheels. That, I mean, hey,
Things looking good so far.
Wow.
We're about 2 minutes.
God, it's been so long. We've been deprived. We've been deprived of a quality Starship entry for like 8 months almost. This feels so nice to have one again.
One of the changes we made after Flight 6
You can see the ship showing its pride up here.
Changed the tile line a little bit. So we had kind of scaled back the number of tiles significantly, as when we go to catch these ships, you don't want to... I think as Elon said, you don't want to shuck the ship as you catch it and knock all those tiles off.
You're deleting Pixel W plays
that layer a little bit, and the first time we did it,
career beginner scientist, no CS, yeah,
kind of wrinkling and
that just rips off. Well, hey, it survived like 2.5 Gs or almost
the uneven parts of the
2 1/4 Gs or something like that without ripping off. So
kind of address
if
that
it survived that,
I
bet it'll survive 1.5 Gs, which is at right now.
On the ship.
So we're expecting transonic in about a minute.
Kind of a little bit of hotspot, a little bit of warping almost.
But this next thing to see is if we get a relight, because we had that skirt damage. If we get relight, and we'll see if we get accuracy. So the two things we're looking for: relight and accurate landing.
Pretty successful.
And of course, stable belly flop. But we're basically in the belly flop at this point.
Then a minute away from hitting transonic. Again, pretty soon.
First belly flop since Flight 6.
Forward velocity is going to look like it's kind of falling off a cliff, and Starship will look like it's falling off.
I think it's not existing. Yeah, falling can. Yep.
Go into
4 whites, right?
Belly flop. If you watch some of the...
Not the engines are perfectly fine. Yeah, they probably are, but you just never know. Maybe some debris hit a feed line or something. You never know.
That was a pretty...
What happened to this booster? I didn't see it, and I don't want to miss this. It did a perfect landing, it seems like, from what we for at least from a cursory look at it. Booster performed perfectly. There wasn't an engine failure on ascent, though. Much less warping than Flight 6. It very well could be. I'll have to look back at Flight 6. I can't quite remember exactly what it looked like. But yeah, this does look pretty not super warpy. If it doesn't pop, they may be able to get some sort of... If they can kind of recover it or like kind of get it on a towboat, like a tug or something. And because I know they have boats out there just in case. So hour 3:15 is transonic. Have we heard the transonic?
We've dropped below the speed of...
Oh, we have. I must have totally missed it.
Starship.
All right, we are in the belly flop. So let's hope. Because I remember Flight 6 landed, but then it kind of popped in half, or split in half. Well, it really did pop in half. So let's see if this thing doesn't pop in half. If they started engine chill and they're able to successfully chill the engine, that gives me a lot of confidence in
2 minutes.
It gives me a lot of confidence in
the
engine's lighting.
Starship is subsonic.
Beautiful.
There we go.
So it doesn't drift in the currents. So it blows up. Yeah, but if you remember Flight 4 and 6, they didn't drop when they did those landings. I don't know, maybe it's a different thing. Well, no, actually, probably, if you remember Flight 6, they had a hard time blowing it up. That's probably why. Flight 6, if you remember, they couldn't blow the thing up. It took them, like, until night to blow up. I hope this is planned and we're not losing control. Yeah, we're good. So I bet that's why they did that drop, because they kind of lost control. They couldn't pop Flight 6. Booster, yeah, that flap is, oh boy. But they're working, they're doing it. They lost half the tiles over here.
2 of our engines chilled in, waiting on 1 more. So again, we'll attempt to use 3 burns for that initial flip.
We may be missing one engine.
Just 2 Raptors for the end of the landing burn.
When you said 2 chilled and 1 they're still waiting, does that mean they've not even started chilling? They haven't like gotten response from that one engine, or it's like in the process? I don't know what that means. Hopefully it means it's in the process. That is a lot of. I know I'm talking really fast. I'm trying to running out of time with belly valve. I'm trying to say a lot of things. What I'm trying to so Flight 60, remember they did that really kind of impressive glide pitch over maneuver. I'm curious if they'll do that on this thing too. I imagine they might. That is a very sooty camera, and landing burn is at 106.14. So we'll check that time, see how accurate it is. If that is the case, it's in less than a minute.
We're looking good. Got good pressures in our nose cone for everything.
Okay, we might be good here. Let's hope we are. Those flaps are really moving around, but the pitch seems relatively stable.
And we're going to look for the flip. So Starship's doing its belly flap
All
right now.
Let's hope we get flips. We are in the clouds. We are through the clouds.
First.
Coming up in probably less than 30 seconds for the flip. See if we can see any buoys now. I don't see any. Getting any second now. All right, through 1 kilometer at about 500 meters is relay. So let's see if it happens.
Starship landing burn start up.
Okay, they have commanded it. We have flip. And the engine's on the flip. But there it is. We have engines.
There's our flip.
All right. Oh, buoy, it's on target. Down it. I think we only had 2 engines. And soft splashdown.
There's a splashdown.
Oh, kaboom. Oh, boy. And that is the end of Ship 37.
Oh, man. Yeah, farewell, Ship 37. Thank you, buoy cam. Landing flip, landing burn, splash out of the Indian Ocean. There we go.
Whew.
Right.
We exhaled at the same time, me and Dan.
Incredible flight
cool, right?
today for both Ship and Booster.
We got the songs lined up.
Really incredible.
Epic.
So obviously we're excited here. It looks like everybody's excited over there.
I wonder if Elon will come back for a little post-flight breakdown.
We're super excited here in Hawthorne. It was another exciting.
There's a couple things I want to look at there. There's 1 or 2 things that concern me, but let's enjoy the moment for a second, and then we'll look back.
So many employees have contributed
at the concern.
enormously to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that's going to wrap it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. It was great being with you today. Back to you guys.
That was absolutely incredible.
It is the
Huge
Redeemer,
congrats
yeah.
to the teams here.
Flight 10.
Again,
How about it?
We lifted off from Starbase Texas right at the
Land
top
is
of our
69
window
minutes
at
in the
6:08
Hey,
PM
hello,
Central
investigator.
Time. We saw a booster successfully lift us up through ascent, had a successful hot
God,
stage,
finally.
Ship
Redemption,
continued
yeah,
on with
Starship.
its, suborbital trajectory.
Back on track. We needed
Booster
that
came
flight.
back
We needed a
down,
big
had
success like
boost back
that.
burn, and
We
a
needed
successful
a
landing
big
burn with
success
that
like that.
landing engine configuration as
We
well.
needed it.
Yeah, and then Ship
Literally just
continued
Flight
on
4.
its way,
Well, hey, it was better than
all
Flight
the
4.
way
It
to
was
space.
accurate.
We
The
got
landing
to
was
see
accurate. But yeah,
first
it
ever
was.
payload deploy.
So
I'm asleep
excited.
now.
That was
All
awesome.
right,
We got
enjoy
to
the
go over
rest.
Starlink
Yeah, all you
deploy,
Europeans.
Relit that Raptor engine.
And let's have merch,
and then I'm
shopping
sure you
merch,
probably
yeah.
gave it a little bit of extra time in the oven, but made it all the way through re-entry. All 3 engines started up, landing flips.
Oh, we got all 3. That was actually one thing I was concerned about.
Promised maximum excitement. Starship delivered.
Most
So
definitely.
congratulations, all of our teammates here at SpaceX. It's been a year. Everybody that's worked on this program, this is what we're working for. So big congrats to all of them. Thank you to all of our future customers too for your support.
And we'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including
Yeah.
the residents of its newest
Next launch
city,
is a
Starbase,
catch.
as
I don't
well as
know.
Coast Guard,
It looks like they're
federal
wrapping up here.
aviation.
So just to quickly comment, I don't think they will. I bet they're not going to catch any more Block 2 boosters, because I don't. Why would they want to? There's basically no reason for them to, because they're obsolete. There's no reason they wouldn't want to refly them, and they'd just be sitting around waiting to be scrapped. And so you're not getting really any utility out of it, and the risk is if something goes wrong, you'd wreck your pad. And why would you risk it for really no gain, right? So Block 3's rage, yeah. We're looking for the catches. Really what we're looking for is the next generation booster and Pad B. Pad B for sure. Raptor 3, Booster 2 or 3, Ship 3, Pad B.
Nailed that double header into the ocean, splashed
Hey, I'm just keeping it open just in case they bring Elon back. Just in case, but I really want to just review a couple items.
And we will see you back here for Flight 11.
All right, they're turning it off. All right. Let's just quick item to look at on the landing burn. First things first is when did they start the landing burn? Let's just look at that. We'll have to check the speeds. I bet they came in a little bit faster because of all the missing stuff. That was at 700 meters. That is, I believe, quite a bit higher than normal. So if we look at Starship Flight 6, and I think quite a bit faster than Flight 6 as well. Let's see, so the relay was at about 300 kilometers an hour. Oh, hold on. I'm looking at it. Hold on, stand by. So Flight 6, the relay was at about... hold on, they're not doing it yet. At about exactly the same speed. Okay, so that's good. That's all perfectly well and controlled. Oh, it has started. You can see the pitch is you can see it starting to increase its pitch. Yep, see right there. So pitch 6. That's actually about normal. That's about normal. I lied. Oh, oh God! Yeah. The flap died. Did it? Oh, no. I lied. It looks from that angle, it looks like that flap is toast. But anyway, so there's the flip maneuver. The telemetry, we've seen this telemetry not work before several times, but the flip maneuver looked good. Now let's look at it on the outside camera. What I thought when I first saw it, I thought only 2 engines lit. But we'll see. The flip maneuver looks good, looks stable, and it reoriented to a pretty straight up position. Oh yeah, that is 2. But I thought it was like the front one and that one. I thought that meant like that one over there hadn't started. But it looks like they staggered it down. Why is that? Oh, that's just the sun. Oh, buoy cam got kind of blasted, so we didn't get a great view. It looked like it almost hit a little fast, in my opinion. 30, 20, 12. I think 12 is the impact velocity. So that's 3.3 meters a second. For freedom units, that is 7.5 miles an hour. That is very fast. And in feet per minute, that is 650 feet per minute. Now, just to put that in plane terms, that is like a hard landing. A rough landing is 650 feet per minute. So, but that's tolerable. So, you don't want to be too soft. Well, the only reason I'm bringing this up is I'm just wondering if there was some sort of slight loss of thrust at the very end. It never accelerated. You never saw it go from 15 down to 13 and then back up to 15 before touching down. So that is certainly a point of optimism. Also, relay was it was supposed to be at 106.16. It was at 106.16. It was supposed to be at 106.14, so exactly on time. But yeah, we'll have to look at that explosion real quick. Very good job indeed. Is the orange the tiles or the back of a blader? Good question. I bet that... You see it over here, and this looks like it's on the top, but over here you could almost argue that it is some ablative. I don't know. Good question. God, that flap. All right, this looks good. You see it. I wonder if you can see the one engine shut down. You can't. The flip maneuver looked really... the landing burn looked really short to me, and I just realized why. It's because the flap cam and the buoy cam weren't synced up, so, because it looked like almost 10 seconds shorter than normal. Maybe 5 seconds shorter. So you see the flip, and then... what I believe happens is there's like a 4 or 5 second skip into the future right about here. That is very orange, by the way. Very orange. That got toasty. That is almost... I bet that's the tiles, not the ablator. But if we just watch the velocity, 40, 2010, touchdown. I just want to look at that landing really quick. Starship wearing the Trump makeup. Yep, it's got that spray tan on. Absolutely. Is that steel? I mean, the vehicle is steel. The tiles are a type of ceramic. I don't think the steel is the hot color, though. Actually, no, look, hold on. I know I'm kind of micro-analyzing here. Does it look like there's an engine? No, that's fine. It's a shame the buoy cam got knocked off. We didn't see. And that... Yeah, it looks like it landed at a little bit of a pitch. They possibly kicked it. That was 15-20 seconds. Should count it on IFT6. Are you basing it off of the telemetry? That sounds about right. You could look at IFT. Well, I suppose I already have it pulled up. So let's see. We got engine ignition at 5:09. And splashdown was at 10 seconds. About 20. Yeah, it was a similar velocity. So yeah, this looks all perfectly controlled and awesome. Depending on its mood, yeah. So it's like a lizard, it's like those like color changing chameleons and stuff. And there it goes into the drink. The explosion was a lot more dramatic than Flight 6. Kaboom! Star Chameleon, yep. Cheeto Puff ship, yeah. Kaboomy. Kablammy. Alakablam. God, good on those aft flaps for surviving. The warping, we should look at the warping really quick. We can see a good shot of it over here. Let's look at it, get it before landing burn. Actually, you can't really see very well. Here, right here. So let's just look at Flight 6 really quick, the warping. Let's see. It doesn't look all that different. Come on, the YouTube play bar, go away. I can't. I'm trying to compare equal shots. That's a fairly equivalent shot. That seems to be roughly the same amount of warping. Do you guys agree? And if I were SpaceX, I'd bum those engineers and hover till they literally run out of fuel to minimize I'd burn those engines. I'd burn those engines, and hover till they literally run out of fuel to minimize the explosion. That's not. I mean, that's not a horrible idea. Missed the launch, got the landing. Landing was a good part. We've seen a lot of launches. Haven't seen landings in a while. So, Flight 6 is wrinkly. Yeah. Maybe from that. No. If you remember, it was wrinkly and then it unwrinkled during the flip because it cooled off. So you can see it's a lot wrinkled. Did this thing have? It didn't look as wrinkly during the. Yeah, this is. They did that kind of hover thing with the booster. I don't know how good it would be to. What the merits of just hovering it until you literally run out of engines. Yeah, it looks like the Block 2 didn't warp nearly as much as Flight 6. This is at roughly equivalent spots in the flight. You could definitely see a lot of warping. There's still the rainbow stuff is still happening a lot on Ship 37 here. Did they say, Adam, no booster catch today, no booster catch. It was a hard splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico. Go to bed now. It's too alright. See you, YannBlder. Thanks, sir. No problem. I'd happy to give whatever info you need. They lost a lot of tiles here. A lot of those actually. Let's really quickly check the landing pins. Oh, good. Thank you for reminding me. See if we're getting good images of them. Where are they? I wonder if the reason I stopped thinking about them is because they fell off. Because I didn't see them. They're supposed to be like right. This could just be the angle. Let's see when the flap folds if we can see something. Are they gone? Aren't they? Are they supposed to be right here? Because no, they're here. They're here. No. False alarm. Maybe. What is that weird hole? Hold on. We'll have to look at that. Come on, give me the good angle. This is them. I don't know what that is. That might be a missing tile. See, I don't know. I don't. Earlier in the flight. Well, I was trying to check as late as possible. But it looks like I see. I have no idea what that is. You'd expect the mount to be lined up with the center. Rocket. It's been in development for like 6 years and still looks flimsy and put together. Done a lot though. Yeah, well, I mean, that's engineering, right? Anyone can build. That's the expression, right? With engineering, you know, anyone can build a bridge, but not anyone can build a bridge cheaply. And in this case, it's not about money. It's partially about money, but it's about minimizing the mass. You want it to be as flimsy as possible and still stay together. The silver thing is a normal lifting pin. They're separate. Okay. Well, yeah, we can look back and see if... You can't really see it. I want to see if they showed the other side. Oh, the other side was kind of fogged up. Yeah, it's there. It's alive. It survived. Ablative? Yeah, who knows. But it looks like the catch pins did survive. At least they survived to 20. And I'm pretty sure I saw it on that flip maneuver. So I believe, aside from the aft flaps, which honestly are due for a slight redesign, and the slight engine failure during the launch, that was awesome. You're subbing... Wow, that long ago, guy in the wild. Wow, yeah, I'm still alive. Mostly just for Starship streams and occasional videos every once in a while. But yeah, still alive. Still chugging through life. Brown, what's brown? This area? That's probably the steel warping. That's normal. I want to look at the launch, though, very briefly. I wanted, because we saw those tiles rip off. Check the buoy. Hold on. Okay, I'll look at this really quick. Buoy cam. That is, those aft flaps, aside from kind of melting, did a great job. How far rocket has gone? Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. A lot has happened since the Mark 1 days. And this is just, I think, just the tiles being toasty. I think that's just all that is. Unless there's some other brownie. Can I do a 5-second skip back? I can, okay.
There's our flip.
Don't need audio. I don't see anything abnormal. Actually, I wonder, it'd be great if you could, on this buoy cam, I forgot to check. I wonder if you can see leeward flaps. I was thinking the same thing. I don't know if that causes center of mass issues. They could probably get away with it. Why is it orange? Just because it's toasty. It just survived, hypersonic plasma. But I'm curious. This is not. I don't know if I can turn it to 4K. This buoy is like 480p, so I don't think there's any sense. It's not even working. I'm trying to see if we can see the damage to the skirt. I can't tell exactly. Is that the hole right there? You might be able to see a tiny bit of a hole, or if that's just plume. I can't quite tell. Pilot is my favorite Harvard, MIT, Stanford tri-enrollment student. Man, that'd be quite the commute. So center mass is out of the question? Sure, yeah. You're probably right. Yeah. That is a valid observation. And their engines can blow out, so it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, they're lighting that one engine in the middle of space, which is very off-centered, so, probably doesn't matter. I don't know if there's a good reason not to do leeward. That'd be quite the redesign, though, because they already are they already have the Star Factory turned on, so it's probably harder to redesign things now. But hey, if SpaceX is known for anything, it's like very rapidly redesigning things. Like, I think they should. Feels nostalgic, yeah. Maybe this white. Oh, I think the white is just the reflection of the sun. I think that's just sun. It could be white. That could be. I hope that's not all missing tiles. If that's literally all missing tiles, my jaw's flying. Yeah, that was a great flight. If that's all missing tiles, that would be a problem. But I don't think it. Yeah, you don't think it's a reflection? I'm gonna call Ian Tim Dodd something. Yeah. I think if all of those tiles fell off, I don't think the ship would have survived unless they fell off really late. They would have, and where the side they would have fell off. They would have smacked into the flaps. They would have caused damage. There's no way. Too perfect of a line. Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be odd to be if it was it landing and then tipping. If the white stayed in the same spot during that, that'd be very unlikely for it to be a reflection. I don't think tiles are missing though. You could tell if a tile was missing. That almost looks like a kind of like spray paint or. I think it's charred. Yeah, maybe that's just burned through, but you'd see some texturing. You don't really see texturing. If a bunch of tiles... Let me look at... Sorry, let me look at Flight 6 really quick and see if there was a similar charring going on. We didn't really get that many good views of the heat shield side of Flight 6, actually. So, here, the best I can do is it kind of looks... You can see over here, this little area in the midsection. CGI, yes, sir. It's inside... Oh, yeah, obvious, thank you. Yeah, that's just part... Okay, yeah. You're right, that is a... Yeah, I forgot about that. The tiles themselves are white, except for they're, like, kind of painted black. On the outside. The orange is the White House, yeah. Buoy cam is low quality, yeah. Orange is thermal afterglow. Yeah, I agree. That is what I was thinking as well. You can see parts of the flap got ripped off during the flip maneuver. Yeah, so this is probably just partial burn through. So that's probably just part of the tile ablating away, which is probably an area of concern. Except for their CGI game, yeah. I wonder if that is a result of the redesigned flap, because the nose cone is very much redesigned. Probably not the end of the world. I mean, the ship survived very well. The flaps themselves did great. All right, I think that is probably enough analysis of the landing. Re-entry was fairly unremarkable. I mean, there was... Actually, no, I want it unremarkable. I want to look... Where's the explosion? We need to look at the explosion really quick. I think there was usually a lot of warping here. Yeah, we have to... Love with people on board, no way, right? Well, I think Elon said they want to. Tiles, textures, Z fighting. Yeah. Okay. That, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about putting people on board. I know Elon wants to. I don't know. If they can develop an abort system on board, yeah. Does anyone? It was way before here. It was higher up. It was cool that we got to see it live because they just happened to be on the engine camera. Is this it? Does anyone have a tea time for it? Going to bed now? I see Astrath. Oh, it had already popped here. It had already popped there. Okay, this will be the shot of it popping. Let's see, what happened here? Usually 30 I mean, yeah, I mean, if humans are on board this thing, they would have survived, so... Assuming there is a catch. I mean, obviously not with the flop into the ocean, but... Come on, where is the Rudd? Might be space debris. It'd be hilarious if it actually was space debris. Well, whatever caused the damage was... There it is. Also hit that left flap. That... Kaboom! Get a human rated, yeah? They probably could. Yeah, what is that? You can tell, I believe, entry is occurring... Alright, so like this engine is facing like over here. So this is the forward. Entry is occurring. So this happened like literally the opposite direction of entry. Which they're going that way. So I find it hard to... I'm not sure how space debris would get over there. Because space debris would be coming from that direction, because that's where they're flying to. And it would be a lot more energetic. A lot more energetic than that. Yeah, ULA snipers. Just smack. What was that? I suppose it could have been space. Something come right to left, just hit him. There's a Russian drone. And it seems unlikely that that would be the cause. But I honestly don't know what else. The best theory I have is that a tile from one of the flaps fell off and just kind of wrapped around the vehicle and just smacked. A pressure issue? But there's no pressure over in this area. Like, nothing that involves pressure happens over here. And it blew inward, right? So it wasn't it was an implosion. It was not an explosion. TSC said, well, that's what I'm saying, right? That's the point I'm making. Like, what on earth could have exploded? That was very odd. But it's right around the flap. It's right around... It's not in the direction of travel, but it is roughly where the flap is mounted. The vents for fuel dumping, you're saying... Okay, so maybe there was an overpressure... Yeah, I suppose there could have been gas getting trapped somewhere and a vent popped. Maybe. But this looks like right... Because the damage occurred here and on that aft flap as well. You can see, like, the thing peeling away. You can actually see something flapping around on the windward side of the flap, which is definitely a little bit peculiar. A little bit peculiar. So I think in the order of... So if we look at our theories, we'll see. We'll have to... Scott Manley, he'll be the guru. He'll tell us what happened. But we'll see how good my prediction is here. So if I had to rank the possibilities, I'd say... locks in a pipe and it gets heated up, it goes gaseous and will explodes. If they had locks trapped in a pipe, yeah, but why would the windward side of the flap get damaged? So if there was a pop kind of down here, it would have popped into the... No, actually, no, that makes sense. I think you're right. Because if you look at how it's flapping up, right? So let me do another one of my demonstrations. This will be a very... I don't know if I can do this with my hands and whatever's around me. How do I do this? So, okay, so here's the vehicle. My phone is the vehicle, and this propeller is the flap. So if there's an explosion here, and it goes kaboom over here, because of an overpressure, it would go boom, pop the skirt, and then boom into there, and then you see that thing got... This thing got... So that'd be a heat tile over here would have gotten, like, it'd be explosion, impact, break that way, so the heat tile is flapping up like that, which I think that totally lines up with some sort of overpressure happening. Okay, so I think if we rank the possibilities, I think most likely overpressure, but then if there's an overpressure, maybe they could have isolated the vent or something, and maybe it was not as energetic as it looked. But you'd think that they may have fuel control issues, but they relit the engines, and I don't know, maybe they could just lose the vent and turn it off. But you'd almost wonder if that would cause an uncontrolled leak. What do you think about the booster? Asthma? You watched a lot of asthma. Booster, I think... What do you mean? What do I think about it? I think it did great. I don't think there'll be catches. People have asked that a couple times. I don't think there'll be any catches in the near future. But, okay, yeah. So, let me rank the pots. So I think most likely is some sort of overpressure. Second most likely is some sort of tile detaching and crashing into things. And third, less likely, is debris impact. There's not much orbiting at 88 kilometers, though. Through that explosion is crazy. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Although some people have to check. I don't know where the vents are located. There are vents down there in that skirt area, so it very well could have been a vent popping. But that was very cool to see happen. Well, hold on, look. It looks like there may be some venting. I can't tell if that's plasma or venting. But it almost looks like a vent is... Well, it's kind of like over there, though. But it kind of looks like... No, look, I think a vent is... You can see right here. A few seconds before the explosion, a vent is turned on. Can you go... I don't think I can go... Can I go? These are Twitter streams. They're not the most advanced thing in the world. I don't think I can go frame by frame. If you can, let me know how. I'm trying that. It's not working. I can pause and unpause very quickly. But it looks like a vent did start up. You see it's kind of pulsing. And then kaboom. Something exploded. And actually, you saw some stuff move forward, which would be a little bit peculiar considering... Well, no, it wouldn't. Ship 37, well, it did its job, and we're proud of it. Thinking the coolant line exploded? Yeah, I bet some sort of vent line, something popped. But nothing important. Because, all the engines relit. We have had an anomaly. We have indeed had an anomaly. You're not saying something new, are you? No, hopefully nothing new happened. After COPV, were you a piece of frost? Yeah, I was saying the three possibilities are some sort of overpressure, I said heat tile, but yeah, also frost explosion. Alright, see a Mutt. There's a flashback of what? Maybe 7-Eleven, kind of. And then third would be some sort of space debris. Violent, yeah. So the COPV theory, I think a COPV would have been much more violent. I think the event at 11:05 damaged the first aft flap, but again, I'm unsure if it was just fire suppression purge or not. No evidence for that at this all. 11:05. What happened at 11:05? I was actually probably looking back at booster replays during 11:05, so I didn't see anything happen. Did something happen at 11:05? Let's look for clues. Let's do some sleuthing. Let us do some sleuthing. 11:05 is come and gone. I don't see anything of note happening right now. Oh, Noxman, his marathon's lines can have flashbacks when they go. Give it a sec. Oh, I'll keep waiting. Over here. Yeah, there was something. That is something. Something happened. I have no idea what that was. But you can. Those on the. There's absolutely zero damage here, it looks like. I don't see anything wrong. Yeah, well, this could have been somewhere else, and the vehicle is just shaking. Like, whenever you see it, you don't see, like... Like, you don't see, like, particles flying away, so it very well could have happened on the aft end, on the other side of the vehicle. Oh, you actually do see something separating a little bit. That happened? Oh! I mean, that is ice breaking away, but it's all kind of breaking away a lot. Maybe something happened? Hard to tell. I don't know what's that. Is that a tile peeling away or something peeling? Whoa. I don't know what that is. Anti-ice. It could have been some sort of ice. I mean, it's possible, you know, possible like there was ice buildup in a vent, in just one vent, and then that caused an overpressure, and then that vent popped, and then that caused an explosion. Actually, when I say the thing flapping, that thing was already kind of flapping, so that may not have been a totally important data point. Let's just look. It's hard to see because we're at nighttime. Everything looks super normal on this camera. These are all the wrong flaps, and we've already popped the ass. Oh, well, here's the side in question. Everything looks pretty normal. Go to 13. All right, let's look at 13. Does something happen at 13? Very dramatic. Awaiting. It bent? What bent? It's glad it worked. I am too. Lens flare event of some sort. Well, I don't think the explosion was caused by a lens flare. I don't think that's what you're saying, though. I don't see anything. What's bent? Ah, stop switching away. Are you saying like a hinge, maybe? Old is gold. Comment. Nothing happened. I don't see nothing. Yeah, then they switched away. Did they switch back to it? Everything looks very benign right now. Old cold jump scare, yeah. I don't know. We also had this happen. That may have been caused on launch. I wanted to really quickly got a little bit tied up in that whole that thing, the post the entry explosion. I'm going to lock my prediction in. My prediction is some sort of overpressure. That is my prediction. Now let's look at launch, because I want to review one or two items on launch, mainly some of the flap, some of the tile behavior on launch. And it's always fun to watch a launch, isn't it? All right, and we'll see if we can notice anything peculiar on those engines, that one engine that failed. Liftoff looks relatively normal. What if something happened at max Q which caused tower to fall and hit the flap, causing the flap to break? That is probably my thinking on the right-hand flap. I don't think that would have been the explosion. Everything looks very normal on these engines here. Because I remember the one, we had that failure on the one. It looks perfectly normal. I don't see anything weird. Nothing in the plume. We'll watch these. A lot of the flaps over here separated. And right around here is when we had that engine failure. If you remember Flight 4, there was an engine failure during the entire ascent burn on the booster, and it worked fine. The engine failure is later than I expected. You can see those tiles are really flapping around. Yeah, that was a pretty cool vapor cone. There's the engine failure. See, there's a roll program. This will be hot staging. You've already reviewed hot staging. Pretty normal. And ship ascent burn looked normal as well. Sorry I didn't run up and fly. I was too. First time that's ever happened. 10 flights, and we finally had one Raptor kind of die on us. All right. Yeah, I think. Honestly, I don't know if there's too much more I can add. We've done this, honestly, more analysis than we usually do. Usually not. Well, that explosion was very interesting, very odd, you know? So it was worth taking a couple extra minutes to talk about. But yeah, just to summarize, very successful. Oh, well, yeah, one, I guess. One had engine failures mid-flight, but those engines were failing before flight. But 4 didn't have any mid-flight. Well, I mean, 7 and 8 had engine failures mid-flight, but those were on the ship. Get going, they keep going. Very impressive from the Raptor team, yeah. It's possible it was just shut down out of an abundance of caution because they have the redundancy, right? So best not to risk some sort of explosive failure. That would be a problem if it exploded and cascaded in other engines, because then you have N1s type situations happening. But yeah, to summarize, I mean, we had successful liftoff, successful booster landing, and a successful Pez dispenser, and door opening and closing, very important. Very big milestone. We had the in-space relight. We maintained attitude control all the way through. We got through peak heating. We got through max Q on the descent. A little bit charred, a little bit burnt. We got through belly flop. We got through landing burn. And we got through landing. Grid friends are moving at boost pack shutdown. I mean, that's probably pretty typical. I wasn't really watching any booster cameras during. I was watching the ship. Do they even show boost back shutdown? Yeah, here it is. Really? We're stuttering? I don't see any movement on the grid fin. They don't use hydraulic fluid for the grid fins. They use they use electric motors, modified Tesla motors. Basically nothing on Starship is hydraulic. Fun fact of the day. But yeah, I think that's all I have to add. I think that was a very successful trip. I haven't eaten dinner yet. Starship launches right around at dinner time in my time zone. So I think I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a little bit of dinner. I'm going to have some chicken. And I think we'll close up shop for the day. Who's already low on the names? Okay, you got it all checked. Yeah, I think we'll call it a wrap on the stream, and I'll yeah. Actually, sleep probably a good idea, Harker. Probably a good idea. All right. Yeah, I'll see you guys all for Flight 11, unless something else comes up for me to need to stream. Maybe Blue Origin does a New Glenn flight. I don't know what the status is of that. Probably a little while to go before that, but maybe if I decide to start making videos or streams or something like that. But yeah, plan on seeing you guys for Flight 11. Hopefully in the not too distant future. That'll be very exciting. But yeah, for now I think that's going to do it for me. So thank you all for watching. Very much thank you for watching. That was awkward. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but thank you all for tuning into the stream. See you later, guys. See you all very later. See you guys on the next one. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Please do comment on the video once again. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. And